sandals and shorts, and surf and scuba and sand and sailing and soccer. San Diego, California.
And a mic.
Greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We're back here on a Monday. A lot of SDFC news to cover right off the bat. San Diego FC fills out their roster with a couple more players. They will not lose by default if they were to play tomorrow. San Diego FC and the expansion draft have met. 3 players selected, 2 trades, allocation money, some acquisitions, and what is next for Coach Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps, the bad boys of soccer in the MLS. We're also going to go ahead and touch on San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave also making roster maneuvers, and a little bit of an update on what's happening over on the other side of Snapdragon Stadium. We're also going to have a special guest from NBC, Darnay Tripp. We've been knowing his involvement. He's been getting involved with San Diego Soccer. We've seen him at Wave Games. We've seen him at SDFC events. We're going to catch up with him. What is it like to see Legacy Media and what they're kind of battling in the growth of soccer here in San Diego. And of course, we're going to go ahead and talk about goals, gaps, and greats. San Diego Soccers are back. San Diego Soccers victorious after much controversy. The brand new arena up in Oceanside. We have Abe in town.
Hi, Abe.
Hi, Jiva.
How you can do that.
That's Abe.
That's Abe. All right, that's everybody else. That's everybody else. You still don't know how we're doing. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody who's been joining us. We are doing a San Diego Punto Futbol giveaway of the new authentic kit. The kit has been released. Go ahead and start putting your comments, start putting your thoughts in the chat. Get involved with everything and everything San Diego Punto Futbol.
Yeah, we'll give a breakdown of how to join that giveaway. We are doing it in the not next episode, but in 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it's going to be
the winner here live in Two Balls and a Mic.
Absolutely. It's going to be a live episode of great things. We're looking to do the San Diego Punto Futbol Awards.
Yeah,
we've been doing award shows,
awards.
end of the year awards every single year. This year is almost ended the stream. It's going to be no different.
Shortest
Definitely
episode in Two Balls and a Mic history.
It's been one of the only recorded episodes because Christmas was on a Tuesday last year, right? Because it's Wednesday this year.
We pre-recorded it. That's
right.
Yeah,
we only pre-recorded Two Balls and a Mic show
on the 23rd for our Christmas episode next week. That's
going
to be fun.
Episode.
And then the week after that, it'll be
holiday
our
episode.
New Year episode. Yeah, holiday episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean my birthday episode?
Yeah, that's your birthday episode. 34.
What the fuck? Oh, man.
Hey, you're a Costco guy?
I'm a Costco guy. No, absolutely. I like the kit. Clean, classy, good first kit. I mean, again, this is the new
We're
look
gonna give our opinions on it.
for San Diego.
Yeah, we're gonna dive in on it, on the kit for sure, and then we're also gonna be a breakdown of the players that are now in the team. But yeah, let's dive in on the SDFC soccer kit with events. Obviously, I know, Tony, you like to go in order of how the week happened.
Order of operations.
But it was a little different.
Yeah.
It was very different because we had the expansion draft on Wednesday, where SDFC selected 5 players. 2 of those players got traded for allocation money. The GAM and the TAM are off the rails.
Oh,
wow.
These are
GAM and the TAM.
Look, I just want to point out, you see notes. These are handwritten notes.
This is a disclaimer. I am no longer an affiliate of Liga MX. I have completely given up on Liga MX. I will not be watching next season or in the future years.
Did you couldn't afford the cable, the package?
Laser focused on Apple TV and MLS for 2025 and 2026. No reason. Just just want to give my pure undivided attention to SDFC and San Diego Wave.
Well, that's
anything else is just a distraction. No EPL for me. No, nothing like that. Just MLS and NWSL.
I'm gonna say EPL. Wow. About time that EPL actually does something good for you, and you abandon it. But the San Diego
Yeah.
FC roster here for San Diego Punto Football is about to be filled out.
Okay.
This technology that's coming
Whoa.
is getting worked on. This is just the preview of what's to come for San Diego FC.
Is that what
because
Snapdragon's gonna look like? They're gonna paint it blue? Like
they
that?
actually, if you want to actually know, they're painting Front Wave Arena blue. They're getting a new
Oh.
carpet. It's going to be blue carpet.
Okay. I kind of like it. I don't like. I know Boise State's the only one that does it in college football, but I don't mind when you just have a weird color.
Don't talk football here, but Ashton Genty got robbed.
Heisman talk.
Heisman
All
talk.
right.
I generally agree.
That would be a good topic with Darnay.
No, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
we should
just
just rapid fire
nothing.
sports questions.
That's how we start this when
got-
Darnay joins. All right, Heisman talk. Darnay.
Tell me about it.
Is Roki Sasaki signing with the Padres?
It's only a matter of time. It's going to be Roki Sasaki Day here anytime soon, and by soon I mean
All
probably
right, I'm
no.
gonna head out.
All right, I'm out, guys. No, it's San Diego Punto Football, where you get your San Diego coverage. That's going to be filled out here. Again, thank you for everybody who's been nice across this entire week. It's been a long week for everybody involved in San Diego FC specifically. So with that, I know people are putting their thoughts in the chat about the kit. So we're going to go ahead and get
let's
to all of
talk
those,
about the
but let's
kit.
go ahead and talk about it. And their coverage will continue into the training camp, the Coachella Valley Invitational, and everything that happens with the actual teams. What you're pointing over there, Abe, and right behind you is the San Diego FC kit in the chrome that was released through an event, a series of events over the weekend. But again, we'll get to that. I know a lot of people are excited to talk about how can they get their hands on it. Thank you to San Diego FC for providing the authentic kit for us to give away to our listeners. That's very, very kind of them. And to give us a table as well on the final Chrome Ball Tour stop over at Snapdragon Stadium. We were there with the supporter unions. Get your tickets, $18 tickets. That's something that the supporters union wanted to go ahead and amplify. Like at the end of the day, like I care for people and their wallets. Clearly, Costco. It was much more. It's much more expensive than I thought. I didn't like it. Like $39.
Is it like
It looks
No,
warm.
no,
feels
it's
warm.
it's good.
It looks warm.
It's good. But
is it
for
also
Costco.
Kirkland clothing?
yeah, no, it is.
That's pretty cool.
It's. Oh, I always take the tags
Tag
off.
off, you do.
It's a fat guy custom. Like
Really?
Gentlemen,
yeah, no, because even if I have the same thing, it's just the biggest one is mine. Anyway, sorry.
we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah, we are.
And these are the ways to join this giveaway. You can do it via X or Instagram, but the rules are very simple. You must be following us on social media, Instagram, X. If you don't have X, as long as you're following us on one of these, tag 3 friends on the post, whether it's on X or on Instagram. Subscribe, or if you already subscribed, send us a DM with the screenshot of your subscription on YouTube to 2 Balls and a Mic, and you get 3 extra entries. And if you're a supporter union member, you can DM us a screenshot of your membership card for 5 extra entries. Again, we're trying to help the team, just promoting the SDFC $18 supporter season tickets. That is beyond a great deal, in my opinion, when it comes to season tickets for any sporting events. That's even cheaper than going to Cholos. I think we're talking about it in the podcast with the supporters union. That's a good deal. Abe, you go to a Cholos match right now against Tigres, you're going to have to pay at least $40.
Yeah.
Like this is $18 a ticket. After the 21st or the 20th, the end of this week, they go up to $25 per game. So still not bad, but take advantage of this. I know La Quincena llega el viernes.
Mhm.
Thursday for some people.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can take advantage, send us that screenshot or at least become a member of the union.
And there's a lot of work that the independent supporter people independent supporter people groups have been doing. So it's part of the fabric of what makes a soccer team, right? In the erection of a team here, this is something that is part of the trials and tribulations. Is trying to fight for the rights of who's going to be the ones that are supporting you, who is allowing you the privilege to come over and support you as a city. And that's what it is. So shout out to them. We did a roundtable over there and check it out. We're planning on doing a couple more things just to amplify those voices. But Cool. We're gonna go ahead and keep going on with that giveaway.
I was gonna say people share it, help us share it, but I'm pretty sure the people joining the giveaway don't want more people to join it, so they have a better chance
Is
at
that how
winning.
that happens?
That's how that
I
happens.
don't share it. Like, if I do a giveaway, I don't.
Let's just say maybe by next week, if the numbers are not where I wanted it to be of comments and all that, I might just give extra entries if you share the post on your stories. Maybe. Don't quote me on
I mean,
that
yeah,
just
you're
yet.
spearheading this, Chiva, and
100%, yep.
much like you spearheaded the shirts, which by the way are on the way. The
Yes.
football shirts are on their way.
They got dropped off today. Tony and I drove over, dropped off.
Is everybody okay? Were the roads fine?
The roads were fine.
Okay,
I mean,
just making
with
sure.
me on the road, quien sabe, pero yeah, we dropped off the shirts. They should be getting shipped first thing tomorrow. If you're in San Diego, it's a 2-day shipping. If you're out of the state, it's a 4-day shipping. There's one person that bought it out of state. Shout out to Drew. By the way, speaking of Drew, there is going to be a new episode of Club Deportivo Movie Club dropping. Drew texted us on Friday with Craig Elston as the guest. That's your
Mr.
boy.
Crossing Streams himself.
Did you know that?
I had no idea. Like Craig
didn't mention
anything at all. Actually, I did.
You were just with them on Saturday.
And spent some time over there on the Golazo Network. You know, as we do.
The movie that they're going to be watching is Victory 1981.
Okay.
Victory 1981
Never heard
with
of that
Sylvester Stallone, I believe, right, Tony?
You've never heard of Victory?
So
I think the way it was described to me is kind of like a longest yard soccer version.
Okay.
Pele's in it, I believe. Right?
Yeah, Pele is Pele. Are you saying what right now?
This is so you're telling me Rocky movie that's not about boxing?
Yes, and not only that, he's in the movie about soccer. Like
what?
It's
You've
they have to
never seen
play
this
for
one,
well, they have to play a game against like the guards.
So the longest yard, but
Well, the longest yard copied this movie, all right?
Okay.
Well, there was an original longest yard. Hey. Hey, it's ¿cómo se llama? Oh my God, Alfred and the Dark Knight.
Alfred,
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
Wait, who was that? Who was that?
Crazy.
Who was the one before that? Max Blatt, what?
Hold on. It was
Sounds like one of the new SDFC players.
Oh,
Starring Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine,
Hey,
Max von Sydow, and introducing
Pyramid.
Pele.
How'd you like to play
Yeah,
football
listen.
against the Germans?
How would you like to play as the guys are literally just dominating the ball? Like, all right. But that's coming down. Craig Elston is the guest along with Cesar H. Football, Cesar Hernandez, ESPN writer, and local Wisconsinite.
Club Deportivo Movie Club. It's dropping this Friday again. But yeah, all right. The soccer jerseys. SDFC dropped their kit, gentlemen. Just straight up, yes or no. We're gonna dive into it, into more details and all that. Did you like the kit? Abe.
I
Abe.
think I
I don't
like
think we've
the
heard you.
kit. I'll say it's a solid first kit. It's clean, like it's sleek. It's a lot cleaner than I expected. Like the actual like threading on it, I guess you could say, is like looks cool to me. And it's just I don't know. Like when I was younger, I didn't wear bright clothes. When you see like a nice navy blue shirt, sometimes it's just calming to me. And it's like, okay, you know what? I can wear this anywhere, and it feels nice. Like someone actually stopped us when we were walking out of the event on Friday. They're like, "Love the podcast." So shout out to whoever that was, right? That happened. You were there.
100%.
That was crazy. We were just walking to the car, and then he's like, "Oh, you love the podcast." And he drove by. And we were like, "What the-"
Did Tony have like a minute conversation with the guy?
No,
Ah, nice.
no, because he was driving.
Has it
by.
happened to you where someone just approaches you
Yes.
and Tony starts talking to them
Would
and then they just have a conversation and then Tony's just thrives off that conversation? Has it happened yet?
yes,
Because you hung out with this man
this-
Friday morning,
this
like all
happened.
day.
There was no conversation that he went from a conversation would walk next conversation and I would just be like, huh. I would enjoy
Welcome to my life for the last
okay.
5 years.
It's okay.
Abraham.
Sometimes you join the conversation, you meet new people. Sometimes you're just like, I'm just gonna look around, pretend I'm looking at these shorts that are like $40 at the 18 Thread store. Like,
I'm
it's-
sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I'm
You're a
sorry.
famous person. We
No,
appreciate that, and you're good at
no.
showing the San Diego Punto Football brand. And
Yeah,
we love that,
I like being
right?
an ambassador. I like
Yeah.
talking to people.
Tony's
and
great at
that's-
networking.
it's-
That's no secret. He
Yeah.
tries off it. I've seen him do it for the podcast. I've seen him doing at the Y.
waiting for the afternoon event at the kit release event. Right, we was with you in the morning. We got some kava, excellent stuff. But then after we met with somebody at Novo, and it was just the three of us just waiting there, and then the kind waiter just came in. I was like, all right, you know what? I will
Yes.
buy a beer. Right, I'll buy a beer. And
He kept persisting. Like
he was very insistent,
good
and I'm like, you know
server.
what? Here you go.
Yeah.
And so I've had like one of my first beers in months. But then after, like, the guy was like, oh yeah, like, you guys, I just asked, like, do you guys like the soccer team? You do this? And like, oh well, I'm Brazilian, half Portuguese. I like Santos. He talked about Neymar. He's like, oh, cool. And then, like, found myself in like 10-minute conversation with the guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hope there's good thing there's no other tables, because you'd be fired. But
100%.
any case, San
Tony,
Diego,
did you like the kit?
San Diego FC releases their brand new kit with
Tony,
the
did you like
promo
the kit?
pack. As you see, Chucky
Answer the
Lozano.
question, yes or no.
Tony, did you like the kit?
Yes
Everyone,
or no?
drop it in the chat. Tony, did you like the kit? Yes or no? Drop it in the chat. Come
Okay,
on.
we can't
No.
say this dead air.
Oh, Tony did not like the kit. This is not a trick question. There's no right or wrong answer.
There-
It's based off interpretation. Why didn't you like it?
Because then that would be saying that I am for that. I'm like, yes, like, awesome. Like, it's harmless. It's not bad. I think I'm more with you, Abe. Like, it's a good start. If you ask me what my favorite kid is of all time, it's not the guy here at all. But my all-time favorite, and I actually caught up with Mikey Varas, and I asked him, and we had this conversation after. I'm like, hey, what did you think about the kit, Mikey? He's like, oh, well, it's elegant. I like it. I'm like, what's your favorite kit? Like, what's that like? Well, I like the Chilean national team. I'm like, cool. My favorite kit of all time is the 2002 Brazil blue kit. You ever seen that one?
Basic, very
Big.
clean, elegant. That's elegant.
Yeah, that's elegant, but it's
With
like
the
simple.
with the crest in the middle, right?
Let me just throw that on there.
Oh, okay.
That one.
That
Right
one.
there. Yeah, let me just. It needs to be seen.
Yeah, check
So,
the mic.
like, this is my type of kit right there. Nice, classic. Blue's my favorite color.
Looks like Chelsea.
It does look like Chelsea. Maybe there's a correlation there, right? This is a similar kit, right? The accents of color that we're told represents San Diego is on there, so that's a nice little flair on it. Maybe a little bit of texture. What I do know is that this kit was pretty much already set and planned before all the actual imagery of SDFC was even going to be a thing. Much like San Diego Wave and their uniforms first year, it was not a bespoke kit. It was a kit that was pretty much predetermined way long ago. So it's almost the same situation here. Some early versions of the kit actually did not blend the front well, where from red to blue, that yellowish part or clearish part was more purple, and they just couldn't get that right. So they were going back and forth with that. The leaks that were out there were a little bit bare, right? They didn't have the DirecTV. It didn't have the not Climacool, but like all the
little
Adidas
details to it.
details, right? Like, that's different.
Yeah.
And the numbers on the back kind of make it look like a kit put together.
It does pop.
I don't believe fundamentally that a piece of cloth that is made in a factory where somebody's not being paid anywhere near what you're saying it is. And again, awesome, right? Fuck, like, sure, but that's not worth $100 something. And that's just fundamentally me. I go shop at Walmart.
Some
But again,
static.
like,
People are letting
it's
us know
fine.
in the chat there's static going on.
Static.
People are letting us know. We'll try to fix that right now.
Absolutely. Will do.
Let us know if it gets fixed or not. I'll try to check on my computer. Tony, quick.
Yeah. In the meantime, we will keep talking just to make sure to see if it sounds a little bit better. It does, to me at least, sound like it's maybe Tony's mic. I don't really hear it when Chivas talking, but anyways, I think yes, you can argue maybe $140. Yes, if you think about like, oh, jerseys, should they cost that much? Should they? People deal with it. People buy this stuff, and I mean,
Hopefully it's fixed.
like I've said since the beginning, until we see it either at the border or at the swap meet, it's not real.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think for me, you know me, Tony. I don't care too much about kids. When I saw the leak that Adidas had, pretty much. So first of all, Adidas just completely threw SDFC under the bus. Adidas had the kit up on their website before they dropped it. They were supposed to drop it at 9:45. They end up dropping this video like around 8:30 in the morning. Kind of ruined their plan. Same thing with the crest. Same thing with the crest happened where it got leaked before. People were not too happy on social media. Look, my issue is not with SDFC. My issue is with Adidas. Like, you give templates to teams, and it's like, this is what you get. Especially coming from SDFC, I would hope someone from the club fought back and said, is this really the best you can do? Can we do something? SDFC really has no leverage towards Adidas. They're a first-year MLS team. Adidas is going to say, you get what you get, and you're not going to complain.
Don't throw a fit.
Yeah, so I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do think in person it does look better. I do wish the colors on the side maybe were similar to the colors in the back. I know it's a little more orangey in the back, more sunset vibes. But other than that, like when you see it with the numbers that Tony were looking at the store, it does pop. I don't hate it. I mean, again, I think it's not bad. I'm gonna say I like it. It's not the worst kit I've ever seen. I think San Diego Loyal's first Adidas kits were way worse than this.
Agreed.
I'm not gonna say anything negative towards it. I think it's a good kit. I think it's gonna look nice on the field, especially with those kind of like grayish pop of color, chrome, if you want to call it. When you see the players' numbers, I think the issue with me with jerseys sometimes is when the names and the colors don't look too good, and you can't even tell who's who. This you'll definitely see, like, that's number 11, that's Chucky, that's number 97, that's McVey. Like, you'll be able to kind of pinpoint those players.
Yeah, also over here saying the Crest leaked the announcement of the Galaxy leaked hours prior, and Adidas leaked it early. In talking to some of the SDFC people, it just seems that this is just a thing that happens in MLS. Like, there's no secret.
But it happens all around the world.
Every
like
sport,
it happens to Man U, it happens to Chelsea. The kits get leaked. You can't keep a secret. It's going to happen. I think we've talked to people in the team when they leak the crest, and they're like, this kind of stuff happens.
Agreed. Look, it could be worse. I
100%.
I completely agree there.
Worse.
It could be way worse. 1, 2. Again, going back to for me, right? Like, classic is usually fine. Whenever I see San Diego Waves Del Sol kit, excellent, beautiful kit, 100%. That's a third kit. The Cholos, when they have extravagant home kit, that's a third kit. Like, leave those excellent, just creativity, the color pop, the colors fusions, like all the new, like, again, I'm very old school when it comes to those types of things. I like the classic, again, like Fly Emirates, Samsung.
I don't hate the way the DirecTV looks, though, with like the little cutoff going to. Like,
see, now you're just hating on DirecTV.
No, I said I don't hate it.
Oh, okay, you don't. Okay,
I if it would have just been like straight DirecTV with like nothing on it, like I feel like it would have looked worse. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Do I love DirecTV as a front of the shirt sponsor? No. Do I think Snapdragon would have made more sense? Absolutely. Is that my Manchester United bias? Maybe. But I don't hate how it looks.
Yeah, somebody actually said that in the chat. I think it was Eric Fowler. Like, yeah, it would have looked better with Snapdragon. 100%. Like, that would have been so cool. Like, it would have been so cool. But
it made sense.
Again,
but
it made sense because the league pushed to
100%.
get SDFC.
I think the more people are, especially here in San Diego, there's a lot of people that are already kind of following MLS, right, with LA Galaxy, LAFC, and other teams. I think a lot of us are learning that the league tends to push a lot of things on the teams, and the teams have to go with that flow. Look at that. I know a lot of people are not happy with Apple TV at the moment as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, they just changed kind of like the formatting for Leagues Cup as well, where it's not going to really interrupt with the Liga MX, which, I mean, I personally shouldn't care because I'm no longer watching that league. lower level soccer.
Well,
Gosh.
like it or not, whether people liked it or not, it broke the record for the most jersey sales for inaugural team in a 24-hour period. That is the official statement, not numbers, official statement from SDFC as of right now. I'm still to this right now. I'm waiting on the actual numbers. But there's a lot of tired people at SDFC who, had a long week, and so that tabulation hasn't been tabulated just yet. What I will say also is that per sources, the second day of after the kit was launched, had and was on pace to have more revenue for the club than the day of the kit launch. So the kit launched on Friday. Saturday had similar, if not more, revenue than the first day when it came to just overall jersey sales. So take that as you will. Obviously, you're going to hand a lot of out. You're gonna purchase some through the Right to Dream. You're gonna ship them over. Like, those still count as purchases. So there's that. There was also there just to kind of gauge the numbers, right? The other record that they were trying to just kind of look at, but nobody has a chance at, is breaking the single player record, and that's going to be Lionel Messi. And so when asked, it's almost like, well, who's second? Whose record are we going to break?
Chucky's second?
Well, not necessarily.
I would
second,
assume
but
it's probably Galaxy, a player from Galaxy, maybe Donovan.
I mean, all time, yeah. But even then, I wouldn't think it's Donovan. But still,
I can see David Beckham
it's
probably
like
selling more jerseys than Donovan.
Cowles Mountain versus Everest.
Yeah, no,
like they're still
100%,
technically mountains, but
I think the only other person that could probably break that record would be if Cristiano Ronaldo somehow came to MLS. I mean, there are a lot of Ronaldo fans in the US as well, but that's never going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, shout out to SDFC. I mean, it's not a bad kid. I think the way they promoted it was very well for sure. And I mean, it's like someone in the comments said, right? It could have been worse. It's not bad. It looks good. It looks clean. The DirecTV doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty cool. And I mean, I just don't like the little colors in the front. I wish it could have been like, again, more sunset, orangey. But I mean, at the end of the day, in person, it looks way better than just off a picture.
100%. And that's just the small taste of San Diego FC that we have, because we do have film to break down, players to talk about, discussions to be had about the actual team that's going to be coming to Snapdragon Stadium March 1st for the first home game at Snapdragon Stadium. They will be playing on the weekend of the 27th, 28th of February against LA Galaxy, the current reigning defending champions. We did have conversations with both Tyler Heaps and Mikey Varas about that. We spoke with Christopher McVey, the newest defender here for San Diego FC, who made an appearance. Did say Chris McVey?
Chris, I think it's Christian.
It's Christian.
Yeah.
Christopher.
¿Quién es Christopher? Wait.
What did I say earlier? I said Andres Silva.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Talking
oh,
about
Andres Silva,
Reyes.
bro. Like 100%. But all right,
Like,
with
oh,
that, we're going to go ahead and not necessarily switch gear. We're just going to go up a little bit of a notch and continue this San Diego FC talk and talk about soccer in San Diego.
Yeah.
With that, we're going to go ahead and look into our somehow we have great contacts like these. And without further ado, want to bring on one of the all-stars for the game that happened yesterday at the Chrome Ball Tour, the final stop of the Chrome Ball Tour, making an appearance, zigging and zagging. We'll see. It was a small field. We'll see where they were placed. But with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome our friend and pal, Darnay Tripp. Señor Darnay, how are you?
I don't know how great of a contact this is, but I'm glad we were able to make this happen, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
No, I
Thank
appreciate
you for making the time, man.
Appreciate it, 100%. But look, we've referred to Darnay here a couple times, whether it's just Chiva and I, Alejandro, or Darren in studio. It's just one of the individuals within the local media market. And I don't know what the technical term is within the biz, right? Is it legacy media or we're just media, right? Right, just media.
Yeah.
But that is getting into soccer rather, organically and very well. That's what I'll say. And I just kind of want to give everybody some perspective as far as like, what's your journey been through learning the game and really understanding the local soccer scene here in San Diego when it comes to that?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. You've been very encouraging of me in my journey into the sport of soccer, and it's been fun. I think I've kind of taken pride in my path in local sports, working in different towns and just kind of immersing myself in whatever's going on. And that's kind of just the job. That's the responsibility of the local sports guys to tap into what's going on, what people are excited about. And obviously soccer is a huge part of that in San Diego. And, I got here, I started working at NBC in January of 2019. And so things were still fairly fresh as far as the Chargers went. And, when I got here, it did feel like there was a bit of a void, obviously. And it was cool to see soccer kind of step into that, beginning with the Loyal, evolving with the Wave, and now with San Diego FC. To see kind of the sports identity of the city shift. And, with that, like the job of a sports reporter in town, it's our responsibility to shift along with that. And so it's fun. I just like, whatever's going on that people are excited about, like, let's do it. I'm here for it. And, if you can pack out Snapdragon Stadium, if you can pack out Torero Stadium, and have a rowdy group. It was in section 139 or whatever it was. I'm here for it. I think it's awesome. And so to see that build through the years, organically, kind of like you mentioned, and one thing kind of directly or indirectly lead to another. Obviously, like, some hard feelings with how things played out with Loyal, but to eventually get to this point now where you have top level women's soccer in the country, top level men's soccer in the country, and to now feed an audience and a fan base in the city that's super passionate about it. I think it's awesome, and it's been fun to cover.
Self-proclaimed sports guy of NBC7, according to the bio on his Instagram.
And look, Darnay, we could
it's
sit
my
here.
job. It's not self-proclaimed. It's my job.
That's the official title.
That's what pays the rent, Tony. Come on, man.
I wanted to say that on the human resources packet that you have to fill out. Like it's that the title is sports guy.
Look, Darnay, we could sit here and ask you if Ashton Genty got robbed of the Heisman, but we're here to talk about soccer. I mean, we can talk football we want, but we're going to talk to you about soccer. First question I just want to ask you. I mean, I asked them earlier, did you like the kit? Very simple. How did you like it?
Yeah, I think, look, fairly traditional, right? Like nothing super flashy. It's not like the Waves. What was the name of their home kit this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Del Sol. It wasn't like a Del Sol kit, but I saw people comparing that to San Diego FC's jersey. But like, do you remember the Waves home jersey the first 2 years? It was navy blue and pretty basic. And so kind of similar from that standpoint. I do think, like, I'm interested to see like what the chrome looks like under the lights. I like a good navy blue jersey, some pops of color. Could they have maybe taken a bigger swing? Yeah. Sure. But it's certainly not an offensive jersey. Like, I think I'm really interested to see what it looks like under the lights in a match. And I think kind of the deep navy with the chrome accents, I think it could look pretty cool. Will it blow anybody away like right off the bat? Probably not, but I think they did a nice job. I think the crest looks good against the azul of the jersey, and so I think they did a good job. I'm excited to see what the roads look like, and not all MLS teams get a third. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, so the rules do dictate that they cannot get a third kit until after the second year. So these will be the kits for year 1 and 2.
So I'm interested to see what the roads look like. But yeah, I'm completely fine with it and excited to see what it looks like under the lights. I think that's going to be like the true test. Because even like watching like the NFL games yesterday, and you saw there were some weird uniform combinations, like Detroit wearing black and like the Packers wore white, and who were they playing? Somebody with kind of like a strange Seattle had like the bright green Volt jerseys. Like that's the true test. Like in-game action, how they look. We know it's going to be night matches in MLS, and so I think these have the potential to look pretty cool in that context.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to wear the kit in the media game.
You guys
that
are
was presented.
rocking.
I mean, I think your post said like, "Hey, you know what? Almost cost the team 3 goals, but didn't. Ended up tying 1-1. Your ACL, you didn't tear, you didn't get hurt. How are you feeling now? Any soreness now?"
I joked with Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps. I had an assist and a save in one match. Like, how many soccer players have had an assist and a save in the same match? I'm a complete disaster with the ball at my feet. I'm best served just getting it out away from me as early as possible. It was fun. It was a good time. It was cool for the team to have us and to get us suited up. Always nice to interact with like different media members who are out there. I mean, you know, you guys, if anybody should have been out there, let's keep it real. It's like, it should have been you guys. It shouldn't have been me. Especially Tony. We know Tony between the pipes. Like,
Tony's
you know, we
tired now, man.
No, they wanted parody. They wanted to have fun. They wanted to have joy. They wanted to enjoy.
Who has more fun and joy than you guys?
I mean,
Tony yells at people during media games.
I do. I do. I get a little
No,
bit.
Tony's
intense.
just a chill guy.
No, we'll see up in Front Wave Arena if we run it back in the San Diego Soccer Celebrity game, and then we'll have you on the team, Darnay.
Look, man, if the Sockers do a media game, some of us might have to carpool over there.
Yeah,
it's a hike.
Yeah,
it's a hike.
Yeah, it's a while. We'll be there on Friday, guys. Tacoma Stars, San Diego Soccer. We'll be on the call with Craig Elson. But Darnay, obviously you've kind of really again hit the ground running when it comes to the sports coverage. How is it being taken when you bring in media pieces for soccer? Is it being is it being received better now? Are you being asked for more pieces? Is it something that just moves the needle, or whatever? Like you said, whatever interests you people are into, that's kind of what you go to, and the stories will find itself.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for us at NBC, but I think, you know, management, like the station as a whole, like understands kind of that shift and understands how significant this is. It's not just like any sport, you know, popping up in San Diego. It's a sport with like deep San Diego roots and passion and history. And so I think, yeah, people recognize how significant this is and how significant it could be to a vast, you know, local, regional, potentially international audience. So I don't think it's been a hard sell at all. And I think, you know, it does kind of take some figuring out and like, okay, how is this received? What kind of outpouring of support is there for this game or this event? And again, I think just seeing what the way kind of Loyal captivated that aspect of the San Diego fan base, seeing what Wave did, like selling out Snapdragon Stadium, like these are all really, really clear signs of what exists in San Diego and where things are moving. And so I think it's made it easy from that standpoint. Obviously having star power the way the Wave have, like household names, that makes it really easy. And, you know, the top level of soccer, men's soccer in the United States now as well. So it doesn't feel like we're covering some like niche thing, you know, it feels like it's natural. It's San Diego. It belongs here. And even, you know, myself as like a relative newcomer, again, just starting here in like late 2018, early 2019, like it feels weird now for even to imagine San Diego without like a professional soccer presence. And that's probably crazy for people to hear that have been here and have been here through the Chargers and everything. But again, just being here for 6 years, it just feels so natural. It's been cool to see it grow, and just seems like a great fit for San Diego. And yeah, from our standpoint, just kind of a no-brainer to pour whatever resources we can into it, especially like once it gets going, just as we've tried to do with like big Wave and Loyal matches in the past.
Yeah, I mean, Darnay, I know you follow just sports in the U.S. I mean, I usually follow more sports like in Mexico and Europe when it comes to soccer. What is it with American sports and just salary caps and allocation money and all this stuff? Like, is this new for
All
you
of it,
too?
all
Like
of
the
it.
GAM and the TAM? Like, I've been hearing that over and over. Like, is that new to you as well?
I have no clue. I'm trying to figure this out as much as anybody. Like the roster construction is confusing. Different slots for
Very.
different players, how much they can make. Like the designated player thing is pretty straightforward. Like you can have up to 3 of these guys, you can pay them whatever you want. But the general allocation and what targeted allocation, like that's going to take a long time for me to kind of figure out. And like, look, every league does it differently. Like Major League Baseball not having a salary cap. NBA, I don't know how much you guys have paid attention to NBA, but like being an NBA fan and kind of listening to podcasts and that sort of thing, like NBA is really confusing as well.
Mhm.
Baseball is fairly straightforward. NFL, fairly straightforward. Major League Soccer, anything but straightforward. And so it's going to be a learning process for me, certainly. From our standpoint, like, we don't get into the weeds quite as much as like you guys probably will. And so how much of that I'll need to like have to, or at least need to be able to kind of convey to people and help people understand, I don't know. Because again, for like our audience, it's like, who are the stars? Who are the big names? Who are the household names? What's the big event? That sort of thing. Probably less or so about like the what 3 under 22 slots and that sort of thing. It's like it's Chucky Lozano. It's like if a Paul Arriola or Brandon Vasquez end up here, it's like those types of guys that people are more familiar with, that'll move the needle a little bit more and probably be the focus of our coverage a bit more.
All right. And just from a broader San Diego perspective, I want to ask you, Darnay, who do you think will win a title first for this city? Will it be San Diego FC? Will it be San Diego Wave? Will it be the Padres? Like, who's going to bring that first major championship?
It's a great question. We'll have to see I won't say San Diego FC because, it seems like it's going to be a build, I think I don't know if they've tempered expectations, but I think been careful not to say, be too ambitious about what they think they can accomplish, even though we've seen, MLS teams have success pretty early on. It seems like they just want to be kind of competitive from a playoff standpoint. The Wave they've had teams that should have been able to do it. I mean, certainly last year, and the Padres were the second best team in baseball, and one win away from taking down the Dodgers and potentially winning the World Series. I feel like just based on that, you got to say Padres. This hasn't been the best offseason for them, but coming off a fairly disastrous year for the Wave, like what does that look like going forward? I don't think San Diego FC is going to be looking at winning a championship in like year 1 or 2, maybe year 3. So all that in mind, I think I'd actually go with the Padres. I think you guys are muted on my end.
Yeah, we are.
There we go.
And it's all good. That's how we do it. Rock and roll, baby. It's punk rock is what we do. But obviously, you're taking in the sports in a major league sense, right? Is there some sort of joy that you find or something you are liking from soccer that's a little bit different from the coverage of the Padres, or just watching and just taking in this it's a, for a lot of American fans and a lot of American audience, it's something that's very radical. It's what 1-1 ties like have you enjoyed a tie yet? Is that something that's come across you?
I don't know how many ties I've enjoyed, but I have enjoyed just kind of learning about the sport, developing a greater appreciation for it. It just wasn't my experience as a sports fan growing up. Didn't come from a soccer family, didn't have friends that played, didn't play myself. And so probably, started as your typical like ignorant American sports fan. And so, delving into it a little bit more, learning about it more. I even have, a now former neighbor who's from the UK, and his hometown team was Nottingham Forest. And, he kind of turned me into a Nottingham Forest fan. They signed Matt Turner, great American goalkeeper who ended up having a terrible year for them and is no longer with them. But, starting to follow EPL a little bit and seeing the environment and obviously understanding kind of like the history and the star power that exists in that league has been really cool. I think from the Wave standpoint, it's like you are watching the best in the world. You are watching like a legend in Alex Morgan. You're seeing Naomi Girma, like number 2, soccer player in the world, according to ESPN. That's been really cool. And to see, them, Jaden Shaw, get a chance to play for a World Cup, win, Olympic gold medal. And I think, and obviously a reason why they've kind of captivated the fan base here is like you are seeing the best in the world, which is, a rare opportunity. And so I think just like learning a new sport a little bit more and getting a better understanding has been kind of a fun exercise. And it kind of comes with like, again, that sort of comes with the job. Like you can watch football, you can watch basketball, you can be a fan your entire life, but it is different, as you guys know, to cover it and to interact with coaches and athletes and to learn the game at that level, to have a better understanding of like what makes an athlete great, what sets them apart from their peers, and to have an understanding of the sport that goes beyond just kind of what you might have as a casual fan, somebody that watches on the couch. And I've enjoyed doing that, like whether it was NASCAR when I was working in Georgia or like when I was working in Spokane, like MMA was a huge thing, had a bunch of fighters that made it to UFC, like, paying attention to that sport. And now San Diego's kind of another type of, or soccer now another sort of version of that, probably at a larger scale now here in San Diego. And there is just so much passion and energy around it. And um with football, like you oftentimes know, like if you're in the red zone, you're at the 5-yard line, good chance that they're going to score a touchdown. Like baseball, Fernando Tatis Jr. is at the plate, oh, he has a chance to hit a home run. The way things can often build just simply out of nowhere, and the magnitude of every moment of every goal, just adds another level of excitement to it. Just knowing that like the 90 to 100 minutes or whatever that they're on the field, something can develop out of the blink of an eye, out of nothing, that completely alters the tenor of a match, which is fun, which makes sports great. Kind of the unpredictability of it, obviously the swell of emotion and sound, and soccer has that in spades, and maybe as much or more than any other sport.
No, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, speaking of SDFC, right, there's still a couple other roster spots that they have to fill in. I mean, you touched on a player earlier, and I kind of want to dive in on that. You were at an event earlier today in the city of Chula Vista at Harborside Park, literally a block away from my dad's apartment. Like I grew up playing in that park, Paul Ariola, like, was a big part of that event where they built a little soccer arena there as well.
Mini pitch.
And I mean, you were at that event. How did you like that event? What Paul Ariola had to share? And I mean, do you feel like SDFC sort of maybe dropped the ball and not picking up Paul Ariola, who's potentially going to sign with Seattle Sounders?
Well, I can't take credit. It was my colleague Todd Strain who was there, who does a great job for us. And yeah, I mean, a cool opportunity to catch up with him. Obviously, what he's doing, like his pride in his city is awesome. What he was able to do with the help of U.S. Soccer Federation to renovate the mini pitch, and I think there's like 750 of them in the country. They want to get to 1,000. So a really cool deal there. And yeah, his desire to just give back and grow the game in his hometown. Like he talked about, like, I didn't have, like, even the Cholos weren't around when I was a kid. I didn't have like a San Diego team to root for. It was just basically LA Galaxy. Now he has that, which is awesome. And I obviously, like, young kids in San Diego now have that club that they can get behind and that they can root for, which is enormous. And it's interesting with San Diego FC, like, it would be amazing, like, in Ariola, Vasquez, one of these guys, like, proven commodity, played for their country. For them to land one of those guys would be awesome. And I think, again, kind of as you're trying to like captivate a fan base, which they're doing, it's been a process, I think is fair to say, and certainly a work in progress. I think if you land one of those guys, that's a big step. But they are very much about like their identity, their style of play. You guys would know better than I would if Paul Arriola, Brandon Vasquez fit the right to dream model of soccer. I could not tell you. But they're talented, accomplished guys with strong local ties. Hopefully that would be enough. I know like the price tag for Paul Arriola, 1.7. I saw the reports that he might end up in Seattle. At Dallas would pick up, some of the tab there, and so it wouldn't all be on the Sounders. I don't know what that deal would look like with San Diego FC. With his contract, I think running through 2026, maybe he rides it out, sees where the club is in a couple of years. He'd still only be like 31 or 32, and maybe they reconvene there. That was kind of what I took away from it, is like, it's got to make sense for all parties. Not sure if that's the case now, but if not, maybe later. And so he definitely left open the possibility that something like that could happen down the road. And yeah, again, how much are they willing to pay? I think they're going to be able to pay guys based on Chucky, based on like the financial investment, the expansion fee. Like, it doesn't seem like money is going to be an issue for them. But again, they are very cognizant of their identity and what the right fits are, for better or for worse. And that's something I can't really speak to, but I know that as you're trying to move the needle, something like that I think would move the needle here, just as Chucky did. And so if now, hopefully down the road, that is a union that can happen, because I think that'd be really cool. Ariel mentioned that his first professional match was for the Cholos at Petco Park. And I mean, that I looked up some old photos on Getty Images, like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And so obviously like a cool full circle opportunity for him, I would imagine, whether it's with Dallas, Seattle, whoever else. Like, hopefully there's an opportunity he plays at Snapdragon regardless. And it'd be cool if eventually down the road it's wearing the chrome and azul.
Look, Paul Arriola's mom was a teacher at my high school, Chula Vista High School. So I mean,
you're just not getting out of that area. It's just like 3 blocks away from
Chula
everything
Vista
happening.
all the way, man.
Darnay, you alluded right now to it, right? This is a giant movement in San Diego FC, $500 million to just buy into the league, right? Like, that's just the fee to jump in and say, I want a team. This is a giant operation, and at the root of it, this is a founding of a club, a professional team. And I've seen that you've had coverage. You've been in the office in the, what is it, Abe? The global headquarters for San Diego FC.
Is that what they call it?
That is the official title. The
They
global,
loves that name.
yeah, it's one of a kind. Right now, like, can't wait for the global headquarters in Scandinavia. But you're still witnessing just the unfolding of what it takes to put a club together, right? Like, have you ever seen a major league club being put together so close? And what is that like, following these steps in trying to get a hopefully billion-dollar company business off the ground?
I've seen 2 of them, San Diego Loyal and San Diego Wave.
Got me there.
Yeah,
That, that got me there. I've seen those too. But I mean, to the extent, right? Like,
Chill guy right here.
what levels are you kind of notching here? Like, checking
yeah,
more or less the same.
And longer runway, I think, for San Diego FC than either of those two. The Wave announced, I think June of 21, and then we're playing by like February, March of 2022. I think where it's been obviously at a different level, like, I mean, the Chucky Lozano event I've never seen anything like that. And I can't even think of many examples of that in American professional sports. Like, I think of when LeBron joined the Miami Heat. That was insane. The whole event, the famous not 1, not 2, not 3. I'm sure Messi in Miami, like, I might have just missed that, but I'm sure that was enormous. but that's just you just don't see that, and we've seen major star power with the Padres. We saw Manny Machado show up, we saw Juan Soto show up, all these guys. Didn't see 10,000 people at like the coolest venue in San Diego, a concert. And then just the scene when he was introduced was just bananas. So a different scale from that standpoint. All the community stuff, like certainly different, like the Chrome Ball Tour, all the different things they're trying to do to kind of tap into the community, to get people familiar with them. Even like the jersey release events, all that. Like, again, clearly they have money to spend because they've got DJs, they've got food, they've got, all the 18 city tour and everything that they're doing. And so I think that's what's kind of set it apart. It's, I guess, felt a little bit quiet from like an actual soccer standpoint, because like there was the Chucky thing, but it's been a lot of like, the press conference they had with Cholos. There was when they had Yeppe and Marcus from FC Nordsjælland here, but I think we've all kind of been waiting for like real like soccer things to happen, and obviously the expansion draft is a step in that direction. They're going to have the super draft, they're going to add another DP, and then we'll see them on their practice field in Singing Hills here in less than a month. So it's been a slower, kind of more gradual build. Obviously the scale is on a different level, but all along it's felt like all these kind of ancillary parts of the project. When I think, much like you guys, I'm like, okay, let's get to like the real action where there's like literal boots on the ground. We know what this team looks like, and they're preparing to actually play a match as opposed to like roll out community involvement event, which are all awesome and great. And the t-shirts they made for all the towns, like, hey, if they made a South Park San Diego FC t-shirt made by a local artist, I would 100% have one of those. They've done a really good job from that standpoint, but it's been a long runway. Like, let's get to some actual soccer.
If you actually look at some of the artists' backgrounds in the announcements, you can see I saw a North Park one. I think I didn't see a South Park one, but there is different ones that haven't been released. So just keep an eye out there.
All right.
Yeah, Darnay, you mentioned boots on the ground and on the pitch. Like, I'm curious what you think about this Snapdragon story that's been developing over the past few years, with the Wave having to cancel their last match and just so many tenants taking over the field. And what do you think? How do you think San Diego FC is going to handle this? And do you think that like by the end of the season, when they're sharing it with the Wave, with SDFCU, is the field going to be playable?
I hope so. I'm the type of person that just wants everybody to get along and have a good time and have things go smoothly. It's like, I don't want any drama with this stuff. And, obviously the Wave having to ditch their last home match was a massive bummer. I'm hoping that it is just an anomaly, that they, for whatever reason, decided to switch up the turf. It didn't take. It was a disaster. Last couple times we've seen it, it's looked a little bit better. I think, more so than the quality of the field is just like the visuals of it that I think has been kind of bothersome. Like even going back to last year, and Alex Morgan's final match, seeing kind of the faded Aztec logo and that sort of thing. I'm sure if there's and maybe they just try and avoid a situation where if there's like a Friday night SDSU game, I'm sure SDFC is probably not going to play that Saturday night and deal with that. And so that's going to be really, I think I'm more curious about that than, obviously the quality of the pitch is of utmost importance. It just hasn't really been an issue. Like there was a generational rainfall that happened.
Yeah,
that was
specifically at that spot in Mission Valley, which led to the flood during the Gold Cup. That seems like an outlier, especially in San Diego. I think what happened, in the last couple months with SDSU and the Wave seems specific to whatever they had going on with the turf. And so I'm hoping that that's the case. and they're able to upkeep it enough. They don't have the Legion around for whatever that works. I mean, rugby, like they get after it, rugby scrums are a real thing. So that's got to mean something. How they divvy it up in terms of like who's playing when, how that affects wave schedule, like hopefully it works out smoothly for everybody, and they can upkeep the turf to the extent they need to, where it's not injury risk to anybody. But like, have we not developed a technology for like spray painting grass green so that it just looks like green grass? And then you can repaint lines on top of it. How is this not a thing that we've figured out, so that after the SDSU game, you take the turf spray paint, you spray paint it over, and then repaint the lines, and it looks like new? This seems like a no-brainer. And if it's not, let's develop this and make lots of money doing it.
100%.
Okay,
I like
guys, relax. What do you want, shade or paint? Pick one. You can't have both.
Okay.
Well, you have to have some like variance in it so that it looks like grass. It can't just be one color. So you'll figure. Leave that to the smarter people. But that just like every single time I'm watching a wave match and I see the fainted Aztec logo, I'm like, how do we not have like a color match can of spray paint that we can just blanket this thing with and make it look fresh and new?
I remember then President Ricardo Campos of San Diego Loyal having the backpack of spray paint at Torero, painting over the football lines and recruiting people, or high pandemic time, like whenever they start, like it's out there. So I mean, hopefully they use all the resources.
I see Ricardo doing that again.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all.
He would do it.
Yeah, he'd be the first one there. That guy loves, breezes, and lives soccer. Darnay, again, it's really awesome being able to see and point to people who are taking a genuine interest in the game, and really, it's one of these things where I see the respect that you have for the coverage, not just of, hey, it's the job, but like you really kind of want to get into the nitty gritty of it. And so you're one of the few out there that kind of gets after that. So that's as high praise as I have. As much praise as I can have. So
I appreciate you guys. It's very nice. I will say I'm simply doing my job. Like that's all there is to it. But it means a lot, and I appreciate you guys. Always enjoy running into you. And I have learned and will continue to learn from you guys. And keep it up. You guys are crushing it. I think you are who people in town who love soccer and want to know more about the teams can point to, because you're there all the time. You're covering the teams, you're interacting, you're breaking news, you're getting scoops, you're doing all of it. And so you guys are crushing it. You have a lot to be proud of, and you're a huge resource and asset to dumb American sports fans like myself that are learning this game at a deeper level than we have in the past. And so it's always helpful to have other people that are doing it well and doing it, putting a lot of effort into it, that have a lot of knowledge and insight. And so you're a huge resource for all of us. And so thank you for making all of us smarter sports fans and soccer fans in San Diego. We appreciate that.
We just want everybody to have fun and enjoy the game. I just
want everybody to have fun and get along. It's like, I don't want any beef between the Wave and San Diego FC. Like, let's just all like
together,
rally and have a good time and enjoy some wins at Snapdragon Stadium and maybe have a beer or two along the way.
I love that message. You heard it here. Let's represent San Diego correctly. Both teams. Darnay, thank you once again for your time, and I'd love to kind of rehash this once we get closer to the season or within the season. Like it's gonna be here in no time. We're weeks away from the first ever MLS game at Snapdragon Stadium, March 1st. The first SDFC game up in Carson, California, an actual soccer specific stadium, which NFL used to have, but now it's stadiums in San Diego. It's just weird. But Darnay, whenever you need and flip that NBC over to Telemundo and you need a Spanish question, you let me know. I
will.
One of my favorite things, it's Todd or Darnay, because they flip it over.
It's Spanish.
I love that. Maneuver. Darnay, I mean, is there anything you want to talk to the people about that you have so you can be on the lookout for?
Oh man, I don't potentially nothing that we can really get into now, but you know, we've gathered some things, San Diego FC related things, and hopefully have a chance to kind of roll them out, you know, once we get a little bit closer. So it's been fun. You know, Vicky, the fine folks there have hooked us up and made sure we've had a chance to kind of get acquainted with you know, all the key figures. And so I'm sure you'll see more of that as the time comes. But yeah, just excited, you know, NBC7 Sport Trap on Sunday nights. If there's a big thing going on with San Diego FC or the Wave or Cholo, hey, Cholo's highlights ran some playoff highlights. That was fun, you know. So we try and cover it as best we can. So yeah, we'll see what's on the way. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds in the coming months.
Absolutely love that, Darnay. Thank you once again
Darnay,
for your time. We'll definitely want to see you here once again at San Diego Punto Football, 2 balls at a mic, and we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, that was sick.
What a great media member.
Hey, you know what?
Said dumb American soccer fans, right?
Dumb
He said
American
that?
sports
I
fans.
didn't
don't
say
think
it.
we're dumb Americans.
Tyler
I don't think
Heaps'
he's a
partner
dumb
said
American sports fan. No one's dumb. Let's not call people dumb.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you just gotta let the little guys have one. Just bring them on and help them out. Like it's just what we do. We help the community and we're really about it. So you know, I wish all what was it?
NBC?
Telemundo.
Telemuns. Got it.
Teletubbies.
Well, be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Darnay,
Not
for
us trashing
coming in.
NBC right now.
It's
I
not,
love this.
it's not.
We're not
NBC,
trash.
NBC
We work together with
739.
everyone just like SDFC and San Diego Wave should too. Why can't we have a carne asada crossover with kombucha?
Okay.
Right?
Abe's like, okay, that sounds like a great
Kombucha.
time.
I'm not a big kombucha
I
guy.
don't like kombucha.
Then
So why would you say kombucha?
Well,
why?
Wave have a kombucha with Novo.
Oh,
Gosh.
We
Wait,
don't have to
kombucha?
drink like we can have everyone can drink whatever they want to drink. If you want to drink water, if you want to drink soda, if you want to drink a beer.
Yeah, some
everyone-
people don't drink alcohol. Like Tony.
yeah, no.
until you get pressured.
until I get pressured at Novo Brazil.
By a Brazilian.
Yeah, no. Oh,
I thought we go mute when
Rookie.
well, maybe. I don't
I
even
thought we
know.
go
I think
mute.
we don't mute. If people heard, that's
Rookie,
fine.
Abe,
We hear it
gosh.
here. If anything, the people hear it on the audio version. Check it out on Spotify, Apple TV, Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts,
Apparently,
or
an Apple podcast. This won't drop until Wednesday.
I'm gonna
So
fix that. In any case, we're still talking San Diego FC. Thank you for everybody who's hung on again. We want to hear your thoughts throughout all of this because, as we mentioned, Darnay was out there. We were out there. One of a couple media outlets out at the expansion draft at 18 Threads, which is the first opportunity to really see a bulk of the San Diego FC players / depth / bench that would potentially come over to San Diego. So let's talk about it. This was last Wednesday at the 18 Threads guess merch store. And so there were a lot of just spitballing. There was a lot of spitballing when it comes to just who, what, this, that, not even locally, not even Southern Cal, just nationwide. Like I was paying attention to some of the some of the biggest names out there. Tom Bogert, like he openly admitted, was like, well, anything can happen, which is true. The official MLS page also had like, this is who they should be looking at. Got absolutely nobody that was on that list. But in any case,
expansion drafts are weird. Any draft is weird. Like if you've played fantasy football, if you've like done it in the video game, it's just you never know what's gonna happen. And it seems like San Diego FC has a very clear vision, and they're only gonna select players that fit that specific vision, or eventually trade players, get those international roster spots. And I mean, it was interesting. What do you think, Chiva?
I mean, just seeing this picture, right, of SDFC dropping their roster. This is 13 players. They have 14 right now with the goalkeeper, Jacob Jackson, that was also added on. So you finally, Tony, you mentioned it earlier, you no longer forfeit a match. You have over 13 players.
Yeah.
That's all you need to be able to play the game. At first glance, you see this list and you're like, who are these guys? Like the basic soccer fan recognizes maybe 2 of these names, and that's Patty McNair and Chucky Lozano.
Yes.
And those are like, if you're a pretty decent soccer nerd. I mean, I didn't know who Imbarsen was. Alex Mighton, he's still 22. Like, I don't know who Jeppe was. Like, they're playing in Norway, you know. Yes, it's Europe, but you're not really paying attention unless it's one of the top 5 leagues. You're not really paying attention to that. So the roster on its own is very interesting because it's really how Tyler, Heaps, and Mikey Varas really want to shape it, which is with their play style of the right to dream model, where it's very fast paced. They're going to play that counterattack. They're going to play on those mistakes. So they have a lot of pacey players here, and we're going to kind of deep dive a little bit on those new signings, Tony, but it's shaping up not in the way that I feel like a lot of fans wanted it, but
oh no,
Get ready, guys. This doesn't mean that it's going. It doesn't mean. I hope it's not a total disaster, but there are potential with a lot of these players.
I've outside of it being closer than the actual date being closer to game time, and the mechanic of having players on your team is actually happening now. I don't think that anybody that I spoke to and actually had this discussion with shared that they are more excited about San Diego FC and its players and its play style and getting started than they were before the expansion draft. Outside of just saying like, we have more players. Well, are you familiar with these players? Like what? And that's just obviously if you are 100% like, I got another mic. Let's make it happen. I'll get you some hot coffee in this garage. But
we didn't get any.
We didn't get any. It was too close.
I'm just kidding.
Next time.
Yeah, no.
Would you have taken the coffee?
No, it's too late.
I know. I don't either.
We only drink Recover here in the Two Balls in the Mic studios.
Talk about Recover. This is time to recover because it's been a long weekend.
It got the endorsement from my grandma. I brought the ones that Tony gave me, and I was like, she was eating breakfast. I was like, you want to try it? She was like, okay. She was like, she freaking took my Recover. She drank the whole
bueno,
thing.
mijo?
Así lo dijo. And I was like, she took my drink. I was kind of offended, but it's okay. It's that good. Your grandma will steal it from you.
Absolutely.
You're telling me you took it back from your grandma?
I didn't. He took
rude.
it. I let her have it, but I was kind of like, dang, I was looking forward to having this.
Do you want to throw that picture up once again, Shiva? We were talking about the expansion draft and the players that were actually taken in this. So the first pick 1 through 3 were made bang 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 out the gate, right? It was a 30-minute show. From what I understood and what was told by some sources at the actual event, things were moving last minute, very last minute. We spoke to somebody who had just left the global headquarters because things were done last minute. And the email had to be sent. So with that, before the draft, the goalkeeper Dos Santos, we have a Dos Santos, not Giovanni,
not CJ Fadri,
not CJ Fadri, but CJ Dos Santos was named for the goalkeeping position along with then Duran Ferri. In this graphic, you don't also see a third goalkeeper selected, San Diego native Jacob Jackson. He was selected later on in the first stage of the 2024 MLS re-entry draft, and which is another
that one was on Friday. So there's 3 goalkeepers now for San Diego FC. You have Duran Ferri, Coronado kid, 18 years old, right now playing with the academy at FC Northland. You have now CJ Dos Santos, 24-year-old, very brief MLS experience. I think he had 1 cap with Inter Miami, and I think he played MLS Next as well, a couple matches. You have Jacob Jackson, that's San Diego native as well, but very limited MLS experience, more MLS Next experience as well. So you have to assume, is there going to be a veterans goalkeeper that they're going to get for that starting position? Is one of these 3 players going to be the starting goalkeeper? It may not be Duran. Tony, you're still optimistic, and you're still saying that Duran is going to be the starter for the home opener.
I think at the very least we have an interesting goalkeeper battle, which is fun to see. Whether it be for the bench spot for second string or for that starting spot, it's fun when you have like positional battles like this, and we won't really get to see that. A lot of it's probably going to be in these preseason games and in these like closed door practices. But when you have like 3 young players like this, I think SDFC is at least thinking to themselves, these guys are going to have to play it out. on the pitch, see who earns that final spot, which can be fun.
And just be ready when if one of these younger goalkeepers, Tony, 24 is still young for a
Super
goalkeeper, super young. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn off those mistakes. If SDFC is ready for that, then so be it. Just know the goalkeeper will be making a lot of mistakes. And that's how you learn. I mean, you have young goalkeepers in Liga MX, like Chivas have Tala Rangel, who's I believe like 24, 25 as well, but he's killing it. Like he's a starting goalkeeper. There are those teams that find a hidden gem in goalkeepers, and this could potentially be one of those players. So maybe Tyler Heaps and all the scouts and everything see something in one of these goalkeepers that nobody else sees. So who knows? Maybe this is one of their starters. Maybe they get a veteran player just in case that can be the starter, and this younger goalkeepers can learn under. But those are the goalkeepers that SDFC has as of now.
Whatever happened to those Memo Ochoa rumors? Do you remember that? Like when the team first became
100%.
a thing, that was like such a big deal for everyone.
He started having very low lights in his team, and
yeah,
he was not no highlights.
He still loves San Diego. Like let's not he vacations here with his family. Like that's just
he
a
loves
thing that
Seaport
he does.
Village.
He loves Seaport Village. He loves
It's gonna
taking
get remodeled
He
too.
loves going
It is?
to
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, no, like there's gonna be a whole Space Needle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that actually.
I've seen those pictures. I've seen those. I've seen
Breaking
that.
news, not
Oops.
soccer
That's not
related.
breaking. I think
Okay,
I've
cool.
seen a rendering, which we
Where
know
you
we
didn't
love.
know, there's a big resort at J
Mm.
Street Marina in Chula Vista. So
I've seen that too.
Rendering.
other
San
players
Diego's-
that San Diego FC have selected. I mean,
yes.
let's dive in on these players. I mean, who do you guys want to talk about first? We have Chris McVey, who
All right,
Tony, you got to talk to a little bit as well. But
Yeah.
who
So
do you guys want to talk about first?
Let's do a little bit of order of operations here. So it was actually announced the first selection was Heine Giklink Bruseth, a Norwegian player, a young lad, had time in Orlando, but they had a playoff run, so he didn't see a lot of minutes here in the MLS so far this last season. So speaking of scouts, right? Norwegian actually plays over in Scandinavia. And because Right to Dream has that network of scouts over in Norway, which is pretty much right next to it, they are privy to such players like this. He is part of this system where there's a Scandinavian style of play. And actually, Chris McVey was actually the one to actually point that out. And when I interviewed him, he's like, "Yeah, no, like there's this Scandinavian way of play." So like, hey, what type is that? This is the type of player that has grown up with that. Speaking of the Right to Dream Academy, that's what they have to adapt to. We're going to see a lot more FC Norseland influence, in the first team, as opposed to maybe Ghana's Right to Dream or Egypt's Right to Dream come through that. I did also hear that the Milan Orlowski thing might not be happening.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
At least for right now.
The button.
That one? Okay.
I like that.
I like
look,
it too.
This is the highlight that I could find from this player of a goal that they scored in the team that he was playing as well. So, I mean, he's a center midfielder. He's good on the ball. He has a good shot as well. But, I mean, you see this first shot with the lefty, bottom right corner. So, you know, he's a player that is only 20 years old. He is definitely bound to also learn, but I mean, this is kind of like the bread and butter that Tyler Heaps wants in this team. He wants those hidden gems. Like I keep saying, like I'm gonna reference that a lot, but he's only 20. Like that potential with this player in 5-6 years, this could be the one player that goes from SDFC over to the Premier League. Like you don't know the potential that these players have, but I mean, again, he's a very not defensive, but center midfielder where he's going to be your box-to-box midfielder.
He is, and we can get to it now or a little bit later, but essentially with everything still in flux, right? Again, going back to CJ Dos Santos being announced before the draft, Dos Santos was actually planned to be one of the 5 players to be selected in the expansion draft. So that's what I'm saying. Like moves were being made up to like 15, 20, 30, like just minutes before the actual decision to draft these players were made and finalized. but that's something that's kind of up in the air, right? And then you now have again the re-entry draft. There's a couple levels into that. The first level already happened, where it's essentially like a waiver wire. If you're familiar with the NFL, it's just a pool of players that want to remain in the MLS that are free agents. They can go ahead and say, "Hey, re-enter me into this league. I don't want to leave." So with that. The second player was then selected for SDFC, and this was Hamadi Diop, another young player with MLS experience over in Charlotte, I believe. And
I mean, he was the #1 pick for them in the 2023 Super Draft. So
correct.
Played in Clemson, I believe. He was the captain there. He's a solid center back, as good as it gets. He is definitely a player that is going to be more of a rotation. I don't think he will be starting over another player that we're going to talk about, who is Andres Reyes and Patty McNair, who potentially will be that center back pairing, unless McVey
we'll get to Reyes.
Also plays in that, and they play with the 3 center back line. But Diop is definitely another one of those players that has potential, right? He's only 22 years old. He's still very young. He has MLS experience already. He has that college background with Clemson, who's one of the top colleges when it comes to soccer as well. So definitely very well. He can definitely shoot the ball. He was the penalty taker at Clemson. There he shot free kicks as well for Clemson. So he has a really good left foot for him to be a center back. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's kind of like some of those things that they're definitely looking at when it comes to picking out these players. Like, who can we have that could potentially surprise a team when it comes to a set piece play?
Yeah.
When it comes to a penalty shootout or something like that. So having him is definitely a big win for San Diego FC, especially like Tyler Heaps has said, they're trying to build something for the future as well. They're not just trying, yes, they want to compete right now, but they're also building something for the next couple of years.
And it's again this very ambitious project. A little bit to backtrack, right? I was going to say that because moves are happening like really quickly. We saw it also on the San Diego Wave side of negotiations. We'll get to San Diego Wave and some of their roster moves here in a bit as well. Is that ¿cómo se llama? Bruseth is going to be that box-to-box midfielder, which is kind of like that replacement / potential player instead of Guti Gutierrez.
Yeah. So I mean, sources pretty much indicated with that. That was going to be a big signing for San Diego FC. Eluded best friend of Chucky Lozano coming back to play with him once again. To our understandings, Chivas have their players at a very high price tag, which is completely understandable since when Chivas tend to get players from other teams, they have to sell them at a higher price point as well. To our knowledge, that's no longer happening.
Yeah.
Because of that price tag, especially just based on the type of player that you have from Guti Gutierrez, you have kind of like that same quality on a younger Bruseth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been a plus. It would have been a people pleaser signing as well, having that friendship back on the field. But if the price isn't right, and that's something Tyler Heaps has mentioned over and over, there's negotiations going to this, and if the price isn't right, they're not going to just pretty much go all out on a player that they don't really want. So that's no longer happening. I don't think they'll be getting any players from Chivas.
It's not trending that way right now.
Because I mean, there was potential of Guti Gutierrez, Victor Guzman, who's also played with Chucky Lozano. So I don't think that's gonna happen anymore.
Yeah.
But
we don't pay attention to the Liga MX anymore.
We don't pay attention to the Liga MX anymore.
That's
that league is non-existent.
Absolutely.
MLS, puro MLS.
Yeah, let's go. Then the third selection was Jasper Lofelsen, and again, some MLS experience here. Someone who has had success individually, just being involved in the league, and just rounding out just the experience that's needed in order to go ahead and start 2025 for San Diego FC on the right foot, because you are going to need the combination of experience in the MLS and just people who you're going to go ahead and mold. And I think a good way, I think George said it here earlier, is that they might be young players, but it's easier to break any bad habits and show them this system. And I think that's a really good point, right? Like, you can go ahead and show a 20-year-old Tomas Angel, who, I mean, if you look at some of the highlights that he's provided, like, those are exciting. The 20-year-old Colombian, also part of San Diego FC. But again, like, you can break those bad habits. You can really kind of instill that DNA of the right to dream style of play, and really have something cool to work with. And I think that's the key right here. People who are watching San Diego FC will have to temper those expectations. And I've even heard Coach Mikey Varas say a little bit more conservatively, like, hey, like, if we make playoffs, like, we should be happy. We should be happy for competing or making playoffs in the first year. And I think that's a good standard to kind of keep. Whatever's going to happen with Leagues Cup, quien sabe. News came out where if Liga MX, again, not paying attention, but may or may not just have a coup. But nobody seems to be enjoying Leagues Cup.
Yeah, look, with Jasper, you're getting essentially a player that reminds me a lot of, like, not comparing the level, but reminds me a lot of Philip Lahm back in the Bayern Munich days, right? Where he can play at the right back, and then Pep Guardiola comes in and, hey, now you're my new center defensive mid. So I think a lot of the things that SDFC is doing is they're getting players that can definitely play in different positions, and that's definitely a plus. But I think for the most part, he plays a lot in that fullback position, kind of like center defensive mid role as well. He has good delivery. He is able to play as the center mid. He has a good shot as well. I think something that he thrives on, just seeing a couple video compilations of him, is those through balls.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely able to see what's possible behind the back line, and if that's something that could definitely be a weapon. I do think he's potentially going to be a starter for San Diego FC as of now. I mean, there's only 14 players, but I think he is a player that could potentially become a starter. And I mean, he knows how to get a tight spots as well. There's a lot of times where he's gonna get surrounded by two players, and he's able to find the player or get out of that spot and then get rid of the ball. So that's definitely a plus of a player that you want in that center midfielder or in the fullback position. So definitely a good player to have, especially getting him in the expansion draft.
If you start kind of looking at these patterns of who San Diego FC is getting, one, multi tool players that can play, like you said, in multiple positions, players who can get out of tight spaces with individual skill, or just be able to play collectively and do the smart play in order to go ahead and play on a counterattack right there. From what I do believe it's going to be a little bit more of a classic 4-3-3 formation with Mikey Varas. Where that midfield is gonna be is depending again on a lot of who's available that day. But if there's one thing that's for sure, SDFC currently having a bunch of midfielders. I think their midfield right now is going to be filled out with one, maybe two more just top tier MLS caliber players. But for right now, I think that depth wise, you're going to be doing okay. You're going to rely a lot on Yepes Verskov in that 6 role to really set the tone, set the pace, set the tempo of the way SDFC plays, and then really rely on the talent and the youth and the dynamic play of younger players to really put that together. And so just certain patterns here that you're starting to see. And again, like, it's an exciting style of play, it seems right now. But we'll see what that chemistry starts looking like, right? Does Chucky Lozano vibe with that style of play where, you can put put a Ferrari in a race with, I don't know what's another
McLaren.
With the McLaren. And I think we're talking like, well, it's more like a Honda, a fast Honda, a Prelude, a Ford. An Escort, a really fast Ford Escort.
Look, I mean, on paper, yes, some of these players can definitely play in that midfield, but San Diego FC labeled them and listed them as defenders. My theory here is that maybe Mikey Varas surprises with a 3 center back defensive line with fullbacks. Those fullbacks definitely being what's the name? We're just talking about Jasper. Being one of those fullbacks, they're probably going to get someone. Jeppe definitely one of those center defensive midfielders. With Bruce also in that midfield, unless they pick up someone else, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-man center back line with Patty McNair, McVey, who we're going to talk about as well right now, and Andres Reyes as well, who we're also going to talk about. Those are 2 solid, experienced MLS players that they also picked up.
Yeah, and I think when you think about like modern soccer and you talk about like just having a bunch of midfielders, that is kind of what we see at a lot of levels nowadays, where it's just they have to be skilled on the ball and making those important passes and kind of being able to play like wherever they are needed. And when you're building a team like that, especially with young players, if you're able to like teach them to play that way well, it ends up looking like really beautiful soccer. But when it does not work well, it looks like so bad. Like we've been seeing that with City lately. Like they just can't pass the ball anymore. And it's San Diego FC, you got to hope that they can kind of find that balance.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, let's dive in on McVey, right? He's a player that got announced as well during the week. He's a center back that can sometimes play on the fullback position as well. So he's a player that can also shoot. So a lot of their center backs have a cannon of a leg. So that helps out a lot as well. He also has great vision down the field. Tony, you were alluding to it. Something similar that these players have is that vision down the field. Just playing the ball down the field, just getting those through balls over, playing that quick counter-attacking style as well. So that's something that he's going to be able to provide. He has great positioning as a center back. He's able to cut in place like we see here. Just in general, I think he's a very solid center back to have in the MLS. Last season, he played with Inter Miami. He got a couple starts. It helps when you're surrounded by worldwide talent like Jordi Alba, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio
It's not bad.
Busquets.
Yeah.
Like training with those players, you just get better. It happened to Chicharito when he went to Real Madrid. Everyone in Mexico saw how much better he got at soccer. And that's just due to training with world-class players. So this is also definitely a good pickup for San Diego FC. He's a solid center back. So again, this is why I'm thinking they're going to have a 3 center back line.
Yeah, and you know, I know he was with DC United, and this is more of a comprehensive look at just what type of player he is, right? Like, show me what the highlights are. Sure, like we were talking about it. Are we going to look for lowlights? Well, no, not really, because those will come. Don't worry, there'll be plenty. We'll find out what the flaws are in the current iterations, because sometimes, you know what, speed just becomes a factor. Right there is something that he showcases a lot, is that burst of speed from the back line and breaking the lines and moving into the midfield and starting the attack. Like I said, like you said, actually very good at reading a play and very athletic as a center back and pretty pacey. The center back position in the MLS is actually something that is pretty, you know, pretty new, or in terms of modern center backs, with a very pacey center back. Sometimes you don't have to be the best defender, you just have to get to the ball, and that's a lot of MLS defending. But it's also an added bonus here. You know, he prefers the left leg, and that's good to be able to move in over to the left leg, right? If you have somebody in the center back position and for whatever reason you need to offload them over into the wing, you can go ahead and do that. If you need them more of a right wing back, just send them up. You start with a 4-3-3 formation. You go ahead and now switch in transition to a 3-5-2, load up that midfield, and then you start playing that beautiful version of soccer that we're talking about. And Right to Dream is potentially going to have. Yeah, it's going to be high, fast pace, but it doesn't mean it's going to be pelotazo. It doesn't mean it's going to be just lob it ball and just hope, you know, in Varas or whoever is up there
There's a bunch of Hail Marys.
can go ahead and get the ball. No, this team is going to try to play very fundamentally on the ground and play at a fast pace, but ultimately try to keep control of that ball. And that's how they're going to dictate their play. If they go this route, then I think it's pretty standard, but with a different outlook in terms of what can be brought, this 2.0 version versus the MLS, right? Like, if you play this style in Europe, it's not like they haven't seen it in Europe. It's not like it's totally revolutionary. It's more of a total football. It's like a total football 2.0 to just kind of look at and give an idea of what Johan Cruyff did back in Barcelona, and just that idea of, you know what, the ball is in play. You just go ahead and make sure that you have control of that ball. You control and dictate the pace of this. And if you are able to go ahead and change that pace and on a dime and really just turn it on, then that's to your benefit, because the opponent, regardless or not, is going to have a hard time keeping up on the other side. So again, looking at McVey as somebody who's a multi-tool there at the same time is good in terms of what this team is postulating for. Like these are positives, guys. SDFC positives. Mark them.
No,
we speak positively. I like what I see from that. If I'm a goalkeeper,
Yeah.
which I am.
I mean, allegedly, I haven't seen you play in
Not
a
an
while.
MLS
It's been a
goalkeeper.
while. Well, who knows? I'm still. Hey, if I train,
Tranquilo, eh?
hey,
Duran
Tranquilo,
excuse you,
tranquilo, eh?
excuse you. All right, 100 pounds ago, I thought the same thing. Now I know. Now I
Oh,
know.
gosh.
If I just
Abe,
train a little bit.
what are you thinking, Abe? Do you feel like this fast-paced environment or play style that SDFC was probably alluding to playing? Do you think it can be successful in the MLS?
I think it can, yeah, especially with just how much they're talking about this system and style. And if you're truly committed to that and like willing to have some bad games, maybe even like a couple bad seasons where you're building and building, then yes, this can work. But at the same time, like we saw it, even if you compare it to like the NWSL where you Casey Stoney built a style, it worked, and then all of a sudden it just crashed and everyone figured it out and it just was not fun to watch. She got fired. And then Donovan tries to instill like a style that's attacking, high pace, controlling the ball, having insane amounts of possession, and that
Mhm.
didn't work. And even with the Loyal, I think that last year of the Loyal, we saw like the best version of a style, of a structure. And then at the end of the season, it all just kind of peters out. So you never really know in soccer, but I think this is probably the right move right now, just building a system and having this thing that can last for a long period of time.
Yeah. And I mean, just going back, following McVey, you have Andres Reyes, who was probably one of the.
I like that side.
That one is
that was
huge.
probably the biggest signing because of the Andres Reyes signings. I feel like that was a big reason of those two players getting traded in the expansion draft to get more Gam and Tam available
Yes.
into your team, into your what's it called? Your armory?
You're loading up the coffers. So what
There
you're
we go,
saying is that
okay.
SDFC selected St. Louis City SC midfielder Jose Kojima during the expansion draft and traded him over to DC United in exchange for $400,000 in 2025 GAM.
Gam.
SDFC then also selected New York City FC forward Thiago Andrade and traded him to Toronto in exchange for club's natural first round pick. I believe that's the 9th pick overall in the MLS Super Draft, and up to $250,000 in conditional
Gam.
if certain performance metrics are met.
I wonder what those kind of metrics are. Is it like if he scores enough, if he plays enough minutes? Like,
Yeah.
you think like just they're hoping like
It's
Toronto's hoping
sell on
like,
clauses, trade on clauses.
Yeah.
That it's if you end up trading this player in 2 years, you give us 500,000 Gam.
Yeah, my favorite. No, I really like that. When I
Yeah.
see it in soccer, like I remember Gareth Bale, that huge transfer into Real Madrid
Mhm.
had like a huge trickle down effect for Southampton.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, and just that the way that works. But those were the picks here in the expansion draft, and then obviously then the announcement. I do believe, I think it was Darnay who asked Coach Mikey Varas, "Hey, so what about Andre?" Again, I was going to call him Silva.
Andres
Reyes.
Reyes.
Andre Reyes. What about Reyes? And he's like, well, we don't speak about players we don't have yet, because at that moment he was not officially official. It was a boogie bomb
He got announced the day after.
from Tom Bogert, who had that scoop. But yeah, so Andres Reyes, Colombian national, is selected and going to be that rock in the center back lineup here for San Diego FC. And I think that's, aside from Chucky Lozano, just the biggest get so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming from New York Red Bulls, who just played in the final. He didn't see minutes on that final, but he did
Due
score.
to illness.
Yeah, due to illness. But I mean, he did score in the playoffs as well. He's good on the air. They're getting pacey center backs, which I mean, it's crucial in the modern game now. So I mean, again, like, he's one of your highest profile players that you've gotten over the last couple days. So he has the experience. He's only 25. So I mean, again, that back line is looking pretty secured already under Patty McNair's leadership. Let's not forget Patty McNair is also in this team in that defensive backline. So players that have a good shot, that have a good long ball as well. So I think SDFC is definitely building, starting off from that back line and then moving up. That next DP player that they should be getting is going to be an offensive player. So whether it's Kevin De Bruyne, whether it's another
Offensive, like a
name.
Carlton?
No, offense. Is there like
No,
just
offensive, offensive,
attacking? Can we just maybe attacking?
Yes, an
Let me go
attacking
back
player.
to my Gam and Tam.
But
killing
yes,
my
that is
vibe,
that
this
is
guy.
definitely
offensive
correct.
player was the one that sat here that you invited on the podcast.
I did not
Yeah,
invite
you
such.
interviewed.
I think
Interviewed.
that changed the course of soccer in San Diego.
Maybe chase the course of the election.
You know what?
Abe, we don't get political
Hey.
here, Abe. Come on now.
Depending on which one you're talking about. The Reyes trade seems sus maybe to get rid of. They got rid of him because he didn't want to play in the final. Either way, San Diego does get a really good player here for the MLS to start the season. That is a solid back player who's going to be your rock. You know, when you have Patty McNair, who's also really good on the ball, moving forward with the ball and moving into that midfield, you're going to need somebody who stays back. And if not, somebody who's able to track back, a strong defender who isn't a stranger to getting down and dirty and will just tear off your leg if you let him. Just stay out of his way. That's the type of ring general in a way, the defensive general that you have with Andre Reyes. And so I think, this defense is shaping up to be solid in terms of MLS. Yeah. The next attacking player is slated to be potentially a DP on the right wing. And so that's kind of where San Diego FC are getting a whiff right now, because again, they can. The international transfer window is coming up. That's coming up in January. And so literally everybody and anybody is within the rules and bounds up for grabs for San Diego FC.
Yeah, and I mean, they did get another offensive player with Thomas Angel, right, from LAFC. A young player, 21 years old. This guy, if you watch him play, he's electric. He played for Phoenix Rising in the US as well. He has a very good left foot. He's that flair player that va a hacer sombreritos. He's going to be taking on players one-on-one if he gets the chance to start. So he's very pacey. He likes to take the shot when he has the shot. So I think he's also a good pickup to have. He's only 21 years old. So again, you're getting some of those younger players to try to shape up for the future. Don't look at my notes, Abe. Gosh. Why are you picking at my notes?
I was trying.
Get your own notebook, man.
What do you think about this? This is a different gear for us right now. Like I love this. Like we're finally talking soccer.
Yeah, dude. We're not just.
I'm tired of talking Chrome. I'm tired of
not
talking community. Like
I love
There's
the community.
actual
soccer
like,
to talk about now.
Like, I'm like so surprised. Chivas just like rolling off stuff that I've like never heard him talk about before. I'm like so impressed.
There hasn't
I'm
been
impressed.
soccer for a while.
I'm impressed. I know you miss it. I miss it too, and it's just like. I miss this version of Chivas.
Sorry, I was tired of talking about Kristen Westphal just fucking up at the right back position, who's no longer with Wave, but we're gonna be talking about that later today.
This is fun. This is fun. I love it. And your handwriting's good. That's really what I was looking at.
Handwriting
Being
is
honest.
fucking terrible. By the way, the average age for San Diego FC right now is 25 years old. That's still very young. It's not the youngest in the MLS.
Did the math. He actually fucking did the math.
It's not the youngest. The youngest is New York City FC. They have their average at 23 years old.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, the average for San Diego FC right now is 24.7. So 25 years old.
So 24. Wait, 0.7 in 12 months. What is that? Like 24 years and
14 players. So
okay.
Yeah,
we'll get more players. They'll get more players.
They have to. They have to get a
older.
max of 18 up to 20 players. So whatever the TAM allows them. Yeah, so
yeah, no, their average will go up age wise, especially if they add a certain 32-year-old right winger. Which I mean, if that's what they want, that's what they want.
You really think
right
that's
winger
gonna
be?
Do I really think what I just typed in and Googled is gonna happen? I don't know. Let the people think. Who do you?
Sorry, I missed it. Who did you Google?
Oh
Don't worry
man,
about
you gotta go back. You gotta go back.
Look at the notes.
Who could
is
that?
that in your notes?
Who could that right winger DP be? I don't know, Cisco. Who do you want it to be?
I'm just gonna look at the history.
Oh shit.
Like we have the same fucking shit. Like
You guys can just look at each other's Google history.
we're on the
It's all the same
Google
company.
browser.
San Diego.Futbol. Check out the website, sandiego.futbol.com. .com. That's San Diego.Futbol at all times. San Diego.Futbol.
No, I can't. Oh, you really? It's not gonna be bad.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey.
I mean, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Let us know who you guys want.
Why can't you say it?
At the end of the day.
Why won't you say it?
I don't know. Why won't you say it?
Mo Salah?
Oh,
He's available.
I think when it does seem like a right wing would be the next option, considering that Chucky plays on the left. So that could happen, but also that would be insane.
I mean, he did just say he played his last game at
Anfield.
what stadium? No, not Anfield. That's his stadium, but potentially his last game. Who did they play recently? I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he said this could potentially be my last game here.
Yeah.
I no longer follow this other
So you just forget what
small
Old
leagues.
Trafford?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's all about Snapdragon. Come on,
Snapdaddy.
Snapdragon, who is in correlation.
Isn't
with
Mo
Manchester
very
United,
good friends with the owner? I mean, again, I'll roll the clip.
Was that not the first question that you asked?
Mr. Mansour, Mo Salah? Mo Salah.
While his handler's trying to like pull him away, he was
Come
just
on,
like, wait,
dude.
let me come
Mr.
back.
Mansour definitely gave Mo Salah allowance when he was a kid. So
Goodison's a good shout. But yeah, again, everything and anything is on the table. We did speak with Coach Mikey Varas at the expansion draft about his roster construction. And so obviously it's good to hear from the person who's going to be handling all of this, right? Like this is the person who Tyler Heaps is hooking up. These are the bad boys of SDFs of the MLS, the new blood, the new generation. This is what Coach Mikey Varas had to say. Almost working backwards when you're coming up with a build of a squad for the first time ever. So what is it like now imagining the formation that you're going to go ahead and have and just a scheme that Mikey Varas will implement along with Right to Dream with the players that are incoming? What are those just mental gymnastics with you like?
Yeah, it's really interesting because we have our style of play, but then we have signings, right? And so, for example, we sign Irving, and Irving's going to be a big player for us. So then we start thinking, what type of player profiles do we want to surround Irving with? We have Patty. What kind of center back pairing do we want with Patty? What kind of left back do we want playing next to Patty? All of these things get taken into account because at the end of the day, we'll have our style of play, our principles, but the most important thing is that we have the right relational dynamics on the field, the right skill sets working together in a certain way that we're able to create competitive advantages from their talents.
So I was asking Tyler a little bit, just some of the intangibles, because both of you come from this analytic point of view where you really break down a player and put him in the right positions. But what are those intangibles for Mikey Varas that you need to see in a player that's going to be key in order to make this team succeed?
Yeah, very few players will have everything, right? But what do we look for? We look for a winner mindset. We look for experience in the league. We look for leadership qualities. All of them have to be good at training, and then they have to have a special quality. When we look at a player, we start from what's their special quality. If they have a special quality, boom, we know how they can fit in the big scheme of things.
And so what is this first day for you kind of coming in, right? You're going to meet all the players when training starts, when preseason starts. What is that first day kind of outlook for you when you speak to these players in this group of what's being built here?
Yeah, we set the tone from a group perspective, but long before we get into the building together, I will have had multiple conversations with every single player that we've signed. I will already laid the groundwork of building a relationship with them. So I've already done that with our currently signed players. And then what we'll do is now we start gearing towards the collective, moving from me to we and making sure that we all know what our responsibility is, setting the tone for the first few days in preseason.
And then if I could switch to Spanish real quick, para una pregunta en español, la gente... I'm gonna let you decide, guys. Do we let the Spanish question ride?
Pues hay que
No.
we have to
Yes,
flip
play it so we
people
can see Darnay how he switches to Telemundo.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Play it.
A latino le encanta pues ver el fútbol, pero que se gane.
Telemundo.
What a move. What a move. Like I gotta go back for that. If I could switch to Spanish real quick, para una pregunta en español, la gente latina le encanta pues ver el fútbol, pero que se gane. ¿Qué tipo de equipo estás haciendo ahorita con los jugadores que vienen y qué se espera la gente de San Diego con esta expectativa?
Ya, bueno, nosotros jugamos este deporte para ganar, primero y principal. Entonces, estamos acá para ganar. Ahora, el cómo ganamos y el con quién ganamos es importante para nosotros. Entonces, nosotros queremos ganar con un cierto tipo de estilo. queremos llegar, cuando la gente llega al estadio, se emocionan con el fútbol que ven. Tiene que ver un fútbol creativo, un fútbol agresivo. Ahora, nosotros pensamos, cuando hay creatividad, hay calidad y hay agresividad e intensidad, las probabilidades de ganar van subiendo. Entonces, lo que nosotros estamos buscando son jugadores que tienen esa mentalidad ganadora, pero que también tienen una calidad que cuando tenemos la pelota podemos proponer algo que vale la pena, digamos.
Y la verticalidad que tienes ahorita con estos jugadores que ya están en el equipo se presenta para algo diferente para la MLS. ¿Qué es lo que le puede decir a la gente de estos jugadores que vienen, que pueden esperar y cómo van a jugar?
Nosotros vamos a jugar, con convicción con la pelota, que significa un posesión dinámico, con mucha movilidad en el equipo, que no tiene miedo de jugar por adentro, pero cuando esos espacios se cierran, estamos listos para tomar ventaja por afuera, pero lo que queremos hacer es jugar por adentro para liberar espacios para los jugadores creativos en la última línea, para después explotar para gol.
En español e inglés, you saw a Galaxy.
Yeah, the most important question here is like, you're facing Galaxy. What's coming up? By the way,
La cara, güey, no mames.
By the
Where'd
way-
you pause?
okay, there we go. Let them blink those dashing blue eyes. If you are listening to this and you're like, excuse me, what is coach saying? Go and check out the video on YouTube.
It's
on
got
Sunday Punto
captions
Football.
made by Chiva.
Captions. Thank you for making the
captions,
captions, Chiba. We were muted and you
He's in Lorenzo Insigne.
you renegated
Sí,
reneged.
Lorenzo Insigne is also a right wing, right?
Chiva.
Oh,
Nah, yeah, he has a fat fucking contract. I don't think he's worth it.
They're making
Hasn't really panned out for Toronto,
they're
right?
saving
So-
a lot of money.
Champions, you're going to face, that's your first test. ¿Qué es lo que te emociona de ver a un Galaxy enfrentar a un San Diego FC?
No, bueno, yo me emocioné porque yo quiero empezar contra los campeones. Entonces veo que Galaxy gana el campeón y yo digo, bueno, eso es un perfecto primera página para nuestra historia. Y nosotros vamos a hacer todo lo posible en la pretemporada para llegar muy bien en ese partido, respetando que es un equipazo también allá, que está bien dirigido. Y nosotros queremos jugar contra los mejores. Entonces esto para mí es perfecto.
I got one last one.
It is perfect time for San Diego FC to meet the MLS champions, MLS Cup champions, LA Galaxy. Coming up here in the finale of
predictions.
We're gonna make the drive up, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay. I don't know if we can carpool. I think I'm gonna be staying with my mom that week.
my bad.
My mom's
okay.
birthday that weekend, so I'm gonna go
Hey.
hang out,
Happy birthday.
go to the game, come back down. Yeah.
Hey, if you ever want to spend the night with my brother, he lives in Oceanside right now before a soccer's game.
Oh, you looking at me?
Yeah, like I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
mean,
can you guys can stay
trip.
at my mom's house. I think she'd let you guys be there. It's like basically the same distance from Carson to where she lives to San Diego, but
I like that.
I'm
No.
okay. Thank you.
okay.
I'd rather
We're
stay with
making
my
it-
brother in Oceanside. Thanks.
We're making it happen here on San Diego Punto Football. Trying to get everybody the best coverage of soccer in San Diego,
But yeah, man,
unquestionably.
like it was a
Um,
big week for San Diego FC. I
yeah.
mean, is there anything else that we may have missed for San Diego FC? I think we touched on all the new players. I mean, we can dive in on Chucky Lozano and his play style, but right now
Well, we've
he's
done
just
that.
not playing right now. He's still injured at the moment. So, man, they better fix that Snapdragon grass, because I swear if Chucky Lozano gets injured on the first day at Snapdragon and tears his ACL or something because of that crappy grass, whew,
That'd be
Man.
just most
it would be hilarious in a way.
hilarious. The content that we would get from that, I think, would
Wow.
just be
No, the
I-
content that we would not
I
get
just-
because Chucky Lozano would not be available at all.
But
Well,
the
it's a
story
high, it's a
behind
high spike.
the story behind saying like that was, I think, the most
Oh, Lozano
thing-
is back.
the
My
most
bad.
impressions
Yeah,
I've
he
ever
is.
got was just when I said like the waiver embarrassment or San Diego's an embarrassment for what happened in that last wave game. Speaking of wave,
Speaking of wave, and again, we'll keep the discussion now as we get closer to this game for San Diego FC, but and keep it going, keep engaging. We'll have more coverage throughout the week. We are engaging with everybody.
You know who? Sorry, you know who? Sorry. SDFC. One more thing. There was a thing on social media that was kind of brought up.
Oh,
A U.S. national team player who could potentially make an MLS move just because he's not getting the minutes in the Bundesliga. Gio Reyna could potentially make a move back to MLS. That's just in the rumor mill. Did I say that right? No, I fucked it up, right? Mill.
That's it.
Like, okay, hold on.
You're close. You're close.
No, I need to know. Like, so when you
Offense.
no. When you
Offense.
figure English words, do you picture them in your mind?
In my mind, I say it correctly.
No, but what do you picture the word in your mind, right? Like you clearly know what mill is, and you said mill, but your mouth didn't say it. But do you picture
It
the
was
word?
close. You're being mean.
No,
It was really
no.
close.
I'm trying to figure out why, because you know it, but it's just like, is it a muscle thing? Is it a you just like? Because I think like in here you say it right.
I do. In my mind, I say it
like
right. When I
in your
read,
mind, you said
man.
mill.
When I read in English in my mind,
When I read to
güey,
myself,
no mames,
oh,
pinche
man.
Shakespeare,
I
güey.
wish-
Leo bien vergas, güey. En inglés, leo
Reading
bien cabrón, güey.
Reading Dr. Seuss, man. Reading it like Shakespeare, bro.
Anyway,
Death.
Shakespeare has inspired me, dude. I just saw Romeo and Juliet for the first time
Romeo
ever.
and Juliet. It's a good movie. I like
It's
that
a
one.
really good movie.
Good version of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
I love it.
With a happy ending.
I like the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet one with Leo DiCaprio.
Leo DiCaprio.
It's-
Yeah.
That's a really
That's
good one.
that's a
That's a good one
funny
too.
one. Like
That's an excellent
just-
one.
It's so of its time and just out there. That's a great version.
I played Donald Bate and Seaton in the actual play, the Scottish play.
And I
Macbeth.
just threw Reyna's name out there because they did say it could be a right wing, but also a center attacking mid. So I'm just saying.
Tyler said on Golazo today he would take Gio. Yep,
Who wouldn't
that's
in MLS?
that'd be a no-brainer. Don't see how he works in a 4-3-3. Again, you have 12 midfielders that can play a 6 role currently right now for STFC. Duran, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe the goalkeeper thing isn't going to work. Put him as a center mid. He'll figure it out.
I don't know how Papa Duran would like that.
Yeah, no, Papa Duran would
All right, but yeah, that's what we have for you all for SDFC. I believe we're transitioning over to San Diego Wave because there is
Absolutely,
another
and-
professional soccer team
and
here in
there
San
is-
Diego, and they also made some moves.
They also made
in
some
this
moves,
offseason.
and they are making some waves. So again, be on the lookout for the giveaway for the Authentics 2024, 2025, 2026 potentially. SDFC Authentic Kit here for San Diego Punto Futbol. There are different ways to go ahead and get in on that. We will be giving it out on our end of the year award show coming up in a couple of weeks. So keep your eye on that. Also, keep your eye on potential opportunities to nominate for end of the year awards. See, I do it too. Don't worry. End of the year awards for everything San Diego. So with that, let's get into San Diego Wave.
For San Diego Wave, they posted their camps, their youth camps that they're having this spring.
That's where we're starting.
$260 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And by the way, if you want to just get a great camp over in
It's just a plug for you. At the CA.
our numbers need to go up, man, and it's about the same price for a full week of camp. Just saying.
Is
So.
it San Diego Wave training you?
No, I will be training you. I will be training your child in
Well,
soccer.
we do not know who will be training that wave. They don't even have a coach. So would you rather have a coach you have no idea their name?
But
or
would you rather
or
have?
Chiba?
Would you rather have Jaden Shaw training your kid or me? Hey, for a full week or 3 hours?
I think Jaden Shaw still qualifies for children taking care of children. No,
She's like
diss
20
there.
now.
I
She's
know.
nine-
I know.
she's 20
I'm-
now.
She's
that's
not a
to
teenager
me.
anymore.
To me, everybody's. You're both.
Sí, vas a
teenagers.
cumplir 34, güey. No
Okay,
mames.
got 34. I'm coming up on 32.
Fucking round that shit up.
Hey, you are the age that I was when I started. You called me old. You're 26 now, and you were like, oh,
I was his age.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh,
You know, you don't look a
shit.
day under 32.
I like that you tried that. You know what? I appreciate that. Don't
Very
worry.
joke
Mames,
today.
güey.
It'll come
He's
back
fucking
up.
balding, güey. What do you mean? He's He looks closer to 40.
Yeah, no, you took some of those videos, and I was like, I can't
Yeah,
use.
vato.
But I'm down to cut it off. I'm down to shave it off. Like I am down. I'm just being
No,
vetoed
no,
by
just-
the league right now. By the Almighty. To
commissioner.
keep it.
La jefa.
Yeah, no, she is the boss. So absolutely. All right.
Anyways,
so,
we have 18 players currently under contract with San Diego Wave. They lost some players to free agency. Free agency is a big new thing in the NWSL now. There's no more expansion draft. Players can leave when they want to, which I think is a really good thing. But yeah, the players that are officially out of contract, Amira Ali, Danny Colaprico, Elise Bennett, and Morgan Messner are all out. That is a big deal, I think, for at least one of those players.
Are we allowed to say that Amira Ali's story now?
no.
No.
She's not a player anymore.
No. What the fuck, dude?
Nope. Anyways, Danny Colaprico, I think, is
Stupido.
going to be a big hole for the Wave in that midfield. She has been one of the best players. She's a great 6, just being able to move the ball around and also play defense. And then even she's a lot shorter than other people, but she would be involved in those set pieces, which would surprise me. But that's a big loss for the
That
Wave.
was your Gaia.
Was it?
Yeah, you kept praising Colaprico all the time.
I did. Yeah.
No, that was.
I mean, when you have
when
when you have midfield that kind of looks like it did last season, and then you have a player that was able to perform still, I think it was fun to watch. And then they're going to be losing out on that. And then Kira Carusa has a player option that she still has to technically exercise. I'm not sure when that decision is going to be made, but I think that would be another big loss as far as the forwards go. But also that forward room, I guess you could say, is pretty filled up at this point.
Mhm.
Like when you have Cascarino and Sanchez and now Trinity Byers and maybe even Mackenzie Doniak's going to stay for sure too. I think that 9 position to replace Alex Morgan is going to be important. We don't know if that's going to be someone on the team or if someone they sign, but
Of these players, who was here since day one? Kaylin Sheridan, Naomi Girma, Kristen
Ali.
McNabb, Emily Van Egmond,
Mhm.
Mackenzie Doniak, and Jaden Shaw.
Jaden Shaw entered halfway through the season too, technically.
Okay, yes. So 6 of the players.
Yeah.
Hey,
of the
wait.
18 players.
Update your roster pictures, please.
I mean, you look at the list of the players that they still have, and you're keeping very, very strong pieces together. Some would say crucial players. You still have one of the best players in the world in Naomi Girma, who cross your fingers and put everything in the bucket to make it happen, where she extends a contract and she stays with San Diego Wave, because you lose Naomi Girma and you lose a lot of value. You still have Delfin Cascarino, who changed the game for Wave when she came back. You still have Maria Sanchez with Delfin Cascarino, and how Landon was playing. Maria Sanchez was just thriving and scoring goals and making plays happen. You still have Lunsvig at the right back position. You still have Torpy right at the left back. So you still have those players. You still have Kennedy Wesley, who surprised a lot at that center back position.
And you added Quincy McMahon as well.
Yes, and you add this new player coming from UCLA, who's also kind of projected to be a very big name in the NWSL, along with Trinity Byers, who's also projected to be a big name in the NWSL. So again, Wave is making the right roster moves so far. It's just a matter to see who's going to drive the boat.
So the signing of Quincy McMahon is actually telling that people still want to play for San Diego Wave. People still want to be here in the city of San Diego. Maybe the city of San Diego is enough because, again, there's no coach. There's no real identity.
There's no more Jill
to what
Ellis.
It's going to look like. There is no more Jill Ellis as well, for better or worse. Better. But at the end of the day, this is something that is exciting if you're a Wave fan, because it's not really deterring anybody from coming in. They want to play with somebody like Jaden Shaw. They want to play with somebody like Naomi Garber. They want to play with Kaylin Sheridan. It's still a solid team that San Diego will be fielding out there at Snapdragon Stadium. Alicia's still waiting out the Hertzog story. Well, okay, you'll get that one, Alicia. Next time I see you, remind me.
I don't know, but I do have a feeling that San Diego Wave, once they get the right coach, which I feel like they will end up making the best decision for the head coaching job. I do think San Diego Wave is going to come back and have a really good comeback story this season.
Yeah.
I do feel like they'll be in a playoff spot for sure. Another supporter shield who knows? That'll just depend how the season plays out. It's way too early to call anything. You never know. Injuries happen. New players can come in. Players can still potentially leave. So it's way too early. But just seeing the roster that they have right now, there's a lot of potential there.
I miss the Sirens.
I do too.
Call the Sirens. That was
Call
I
the
miss the Call of the
Sirens. I miss
Sirens.
it.
So in that same type of and the same kind of back and forth, we had the information of Quincy McMahon coming in officially. We just had to hold off on it. I also took that opportunity to be like, all right, Wave, what's going on? You don't have a manager. Well, when can we kind of expect? And so what we can say
You gotta
as
be
of
careful
now,
when you say it. Sorry.
Well,
They have a general man. They don't have a coach.
Yeah.
You gotta be
yes, they don't have a
careful.
coach. Okay, they don't have an
Yes.
entrenador, un DT.
Mhm.
A technical director is not in place right now. So
Also, Ashton is the sporting
What
director.
the fuck? You interrupting.
Sorry, she's the sporting director. not
Yeah,
the
yeah, Tony, get your shit right. Also, yeah. Just two
breaking
chill
news
guys.
ish or developing news for head coach for San Diego Wave. That an announcement will more than likely be coming in the coming days. Very soon, we'll have updates. Just pretty much as soon as they have them. We are the #1 outlet for soccer in San Diego for a reason. But regardless of what that announcement is, or who it is, or where it is here in San Diego, that press conference where we'll get to meet the new coach for San Diego Wave will not be until after the holidays into January. So the announcement is set to happen in the next couple of days, potentially a week. But then the press conference to actually start it off and get things rolling with the new coach will not happen until after the holidays into January. So set those calendars. That's the timeline at this point. That's kind of what we have for San Diego Wave.
That's about it. Yeah. NWSL is pretty quiet around this time.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? We still have to keep our ear down onto the ground and make sure that we are not left behind.
Yeah, it is interesting though. The Wave are one of the few teams that have been signing these college players that might have been like selected in the draft. So at least the Wave are kind of on the front foot on that level.
No, absolutely. I do think Wave will be able to maintain a high fan attendance next season. That's a really good question.
I think so.
It's a lot more affordable at the very
Yes.
least, and there's a lot of people that want to go see the best women's players in the world.
Look, man, a lot of these little girls that still are big Naomi Girma fans and Jaden Shaw fans and Caitlin Sharon fans, they're gonna want to go watch Wave and not SDFC. Like it's gonna remind me a lot of those Loyal and Waves. It's completely different fan bases. There's still going to be that large portion that will go to both.
Yeah, but
it's very different fan bases, very different atmospheres, very different group of people out there.
No, absolutely. And so it took a toll. It took a toll on the soccer community that followed Wave, everything that happened last season. On and off the pitch, it was just a disaster class. If you want to go ahead and just showcase and do a case study on how to have a founding club and start a club and be successful, and then immediately do a speed run to the ground, look at San Diego Wave. They did a pretty nifty job at that last year with a couple of missed opportunities, not only to jump in the market where San Diego FC is going to be the quote unquote big dog in town, literally just paying their way into it. They're paying more money. That's what San Diego FC has
But Tom Penn said.
said. The CEO of SDFC has said, we paid more money, therefore we deserve more. Cool. All right. Sure. That's their prerogative to decide, right? But as you're saying, the attendance, the fan base, I think it's mutually exclusive there. If San Diego Wave can average 15 to 20,000, which is pretty much a good turnout for the lower bowl at Snapdragon Stadium, I think that's something that they could be proud of. Because again, just looking at everywhere else that doesn't have a soccer specific stadium for their team in the NWSL, that's pretty average on the high side of things. Just 15 to 20,000. I think that's something that they could definitely maintain. people were kind of left just left to dry without a last home match because of the turf situation, and you know that left a lot of people sour to the Wave. But it's going to be incumbent of them. It's going to be up to the Wave to bring that fan base back and regain some of the trust, and just get some of that ¿cómo se llama? Bring some stock, some value from the community back to where they did pretty good, right? Like they're marketing to who they're marketing, and it's working. If they can fill out a stadium with San Diego Surf families, they'll do it, and they have for the majority of that. So that's an interesting discussing, something to really kind of look at going to both this coming year. It'll be very, very challenging. Yeah, it's going to be very challenging for us
And
too.
look, their season tickets are also out. And I mean, if we were promoting that for SDFC,
yeah,
the general admission supporter tickets, they're $15 per game. The full season costs $210. So, I mean, we're talking about a great deal for SDFC as well. This is a great deal for NWCO and San Diego Wave as well. So, if you're interested in that, I mean, that's also on their website. So check that out. That's what we do here at San Diego Punto Football. We promote both teams. We promote the positivity.
Hey, look, these little teams need it. Yeah, these little ma and pa shops really kind of need it. So
the top dogs in town are San Diego Internacional.
Oh, absolutely. Your partner's favorite soccer
Hey,
team.
did East Lake win in the UPSL?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they're onto the quarter.
Oh, for the Open Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
No, not Open Cup. For
Oh,
the playoffs, the national playoffs of the UPSL.
We'll check that a little bit later. Or if you want to check that right now. But that is everything for San Diego Wave right now. And that is going to lead us into our final segment. Yes, we do segments. Yes, it's been a great time. This is going to be your final segment, brought to you in part by Recover. Recover.
Nice.
You like that, didn't you?
I do.
Recover. Get your Recover wherever Recover is sold. I do have this ad read, actually. Not an official ad read, but you know what? We'll make it happen. So what is Recover? Recover. Thank you for asking, Abe.
What is Recover?
Recover is an organic hydration sports drink of today's athlete to improve performance and recovery before, during, and after training. Recover 180 organic hydration combines coconut water, potassium packed with electrolytes and vitamins to provide the hydration you need to recover strong. Make sure you get Recover in the different flavors. This is certified organic, no chemicals, no preservatives, no artificial flavors. It is fantastic and it's delicious, and it is approved by Abraham and his grandmother. So what better thing to really,
Drink one on Sunday. I was a little hungover.
You drank one on Sunday. Did it help?
Oh, you were hella hungover?
No, I was just a little bit. But it's okay.
Abe got breaking news. Abe got fucked up on Saturday.
Let's Recover.
East Lake Soccer did beat FC Arizona in the national round of 32, moving on to the round of 16, which I believe might be a home game. They said details coming soon. So shout out to East Lake Soccer for representing San Diego in the UPSL national playoffs, beating FC Arizona in the round of 32. Wow.
I think they can be entered as a late honorary. Great for our next segment, which is goals.
There we go. That's what we need.
All right, goals, gaffes, and great. So we begin.
I couldn't find a goal this week.
I thought we were talking about your favorite Premier League team that you don't pay attention to anymore.
Oh, you mean the Ahmad kid beating Manchester? Manchester's
I
red,
thought
by
that
the way,
was
right? Something.
I thought that was an
90th
amazing goal, amazing game, really.
You know what was funny about that? I saw that Man U was down 1-0, and in 145 seconds, they turned it around. 145 is a big number for Manchester City. That's the number of charges they have against them. So, yeah, Manchester City's going down the drain. Manchester is red. I'll call you City fans.
Whoa.
Hey, man. That's inappropriate.
I don't care.
So, again, okay, let's... I told you to stop saying
Leave
that,
Edwin alone.
Yeah, you did tell me. You did tell me to say. Sorry. Campeón.
So, with that said, I think it's let me bring you guys into this space. because we do have the great. I think let's go with great. Or are you going to show the goal?
This is the goal right here. I was trying to send it
You
to
can,
you.
if you're in the
share
stream,
it.
you can share
Share
it.
it,
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Share it.
You can share that.
On
We'll
here.
just make it small. So,
okay.
oh, you did share it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did share it.
I
Okay, I
did.
guess we'll be here then. Goals, gaps, and greats, everybody. Presented by Recover. Where is it? Yeah, no, I'm going to share it from mine. Okay,
I'm already here.
you're already here.
Too
So let's
slow.
go ahead and go
Too
small.
slow.
So
It's okay.
copyrights. All right.
Here it is right here. You're tying 1-1, 90th minute, be able to send it over the goalkeeper and into the goal. That was
Yeah, it was a
that's an
long
excellent
pass
maneuver.
from center back Lisandro Martinez.
Licha.
World Cup winner Licha. Over Amad Diallo has definitely been the all-star for Manchester United this season. I mean, he's just 21 years old. I mean, he's crack. With San Diego is Manchester United and Snapdragon. Just
That's the San Diego connection.
That's
the San Diego
connection.
That's the
Manchester
Snapdragon.
United plays their preseason matches at
it's San Diego connection
Snapdragon
with this
Stadium.
gaff.
All right. Well, this isn't actually the gaff. I was actually gonna because we weren't, being successful with the goal. So I think this is a good goal because the San Diego Sockers. You want to stop sharing on yours so it doesn't slow your thing down as well. San Diego Sockers actually played
So wait,
their first
what are we
home
on
game.
the goal?
This is still the goal. So this is gonna be.
Just because it's the second goal.
I can't believe I forgot about my own
Yeah.
graphic. All right, this is gonna be still the second goal of the week. This is Luis Morales, a new player for San Diego Sockers. He's actually one of the all-stars and of the mom attacking, MOM, Mendez, Ortiz, and Morales from Texas Outlaws. They did very well. Texas kind of got stripped and they took hey, I could say we took San Diego Sockers this opportunity to take a vicious striker. He scored a hat trick in this match, including this goal, which ended up being the game winner.
Sad opening has become.
Where is it?
Okay, chingón, güey.
Okay,
Golazo,
fregón, güey. No,
golazo.
che golazo, güey. No, 100%.
I
could always
love
hear
I
Craig.
yeah,
I can
Craig's
hear
voice
Craig
on
any
these
day.
soccer calls are just amazing.
By the way,
Honestly,
shout out. Oh, I know who our great is.
Who's that great?
Our great is our very own Tony Sanchez.
Oh,
For being
all right,
in the
relax.
same network as the Champions League network.
that is a technicality.
Oh my goodness.
And I will definitely take that to the bank. All right, so here is the goal by Luis Morales.
Start down low. It's Morales for the win. He scores. And exulting is Front Wave Arena as history has been reversed. A loss has become a win. And the Sockers' sad opening has become joyous instead. What's fair is foul, and what's foul is fair. And the Sockers win it 6-5.
¿No picó la falta esa o qué pedo?
What's fair is foul, what's foul is fair.
That is a Macbeth reference.
What an amazing call by
man,
Craig Elston.
Look, man. Look.
That was
the
awesome.
fact that I get to sit next to this gem of a human being, a wonderful a legend in San Diego,
Who didn't tell you he was on the next episode? of
who
Fruta
did not
Deportiva,
tell me that he
no?
was on next because I figured I think he should have known. I guess like, oh yeah, Tony knows. Like it's his
It's
network.
his network.
It's I wish you know what I should
You're
know.
the self-proclaimed CEO, my guy.
Tell me you have a deep frying 101 reel for today, Tony. We'll get to that after dark. Remember my playlist had deep frying food, I guess. It did. But yeah, that was a fantastic goal. That was the game winner. One of two game winners in this soccer match, indoor soccer match, the first home game at Front Wave Arena for the San Diego Sockers, who saw a attendance of, let me pull it up. Up. ¿Dónde estás? Not JC. Where'd it go? Boom. The attendance for this was 4,508 people at Front Wave Arena to witness the San Diego Sockers first victory
That's what Loyal would average.
against Utica. Actually, yeah, that is what Loyal would average.
I think now you're moving on to our gaff of the week.
Foul is fair, as what Craig Elston said. And that was alluding to something that actually happened before. So this was a golden goal situation, right? That Luis Morales scored the goal boom, it goes in, game is over. Fantastic. If that's all you see, that's all like, wow, great game. Soccer's did it. Good job. It was a tight match and whatever. However, earlier in the match, there were some controversies between the officials not necessarily having the rules correctly. And
what do you mean not having the rules correct?
so in the MASL, they just changed the rule that if you are on the ground for longer than 15 seconds, you automatically have to come out. Right? That's just to avoid time wasting. That's just to avoid momentum killing. It's just a good rule to enact. However, then it was amended, and the jury's still out. It was amended to where if the trainer has to be called on, then the player has to come out, regardless of whatever. Again, player safety. Let's go flow of the game. There was a play with a new player, Kike Gontran, who used to play at Sacramento Republic. He used to play in La Liga, actually. First year, looking like a dynamite kid. He is stepped on, loses his shoe, tries to put it on. Referee's like, hey, put it on. Like, you're taking too long. Sends him back, sends him away. The Sockers have the momentum, and they completely lose the momentum. And it's just a shit show from there. After, you are going to see somebody who absolutely dominated the San Diego Sockers, a player for a first year for Utica City, a Brazilian, Kelvin Oliveira. Just a strong Brazilian name.
Not Leonardo
de Oliveira, who is the pass master. But you get the situation that you're about to see. Golden goal situation. Goal wins. That's it. First one to score, and it's over. 5-5 Utica San Diego. This next play happened.
Ronaldinho. And then it's Oliveira coming in to try and win it. Oliveira, Pardo blocks it, takes it again, header goal! Utica City wins in overtime. And who created it? The new superstar of the Major Arena Soccer League, Kelvin Oliveira, will be a problem for this league for time to come. And for the
Great call once again, Craig Elston. Amazing. This happened before Luis Morales' goal. Before everybody storms on, Boris Pardo is taking off his glove. Everybody's like done. But then if you listen to the background, it's like the NFL. The referees have the voice of God microphone into the arena.
Will be a problem for this league for time to come. And for the Sockers, a stunning loss in their home goal, and they're going to review this play.
I bumped Craig. I'm like I've been, because like he's talking and I'm hearing like, no, it's not over. And I'm like, we did not have a monitor the entire game. We didn't see a single replay. We couldn't talk back to our producers. There was something that was going wrong in that connection. So
not TVX, right?
No, not TVX. But it was we made it work, but there was some confusion. It was like, what's going on? Earlier, the same referee gave a blue card, which means the player has to come out for 2 minutes, and then said, like, let's say I foul you. You're on the beep, foul. And then the referee immediately said, beep, beep. I'm going to review my own call. Went back.
Wait, did I just see that? Like,
no. Went back and reversed it. So it's a ref show here. Referees then review the play.
What?
They do exactly what they say they will. Review this play, take some time, and what is being called is, as you're going to see in the replay that we didn't get, is you see Pee-wee Ortega on the ground holding his face. At some point when Oliveira was winning the ball and taking over, he did like a swim maneuver, maybe swung his
elbow hit the
elbow.
face. You can definitely see if you watch the original play, elbow hits the face, and then Pee-wee is on the floor the whole time while they're celebrating the goal. Like here it is, right here. Boom. Elbow right there. Boom.
Right. Okay. So that happens.
Play that back a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe embellished a little bit, but here it is. Boom. could have put his fingers in his nostrils right there.
The
What do
only
you- what do you think?
only reason I'm gonna say it's a foul is because it like there was a chance Pee Wee could have caught up. There was a chance that Pee Wee could have taken that ball away. So that action gave that player the advantage to get that counterattack going. So I do think that's a foul.
So, okay. So it's a foul, right? But look at how much time is passing. Look at like that should have been called then.
Yeah, but if they missed it,
But if they missed it, okay, that's
How many
fine.
referees are there? In
2 and then cronometrista.
I mean, it was what, like, talking about how much time? It was what, like 7 seconds after the hit?
it does seem like one referee didn't see it, one referee did, one
It's
referee
like,
said,
yeah,
"Hey,
it's
we
like
need to check on
the
this."
play played out, and they're like, "Hey, wait! I saw a hit. Like, there could be a foul here."
But here's the thing, like that moment right there, nothing matters. The game is over.
Unless
Like-
there's a foul.
But even then, like you have to go back and review that. Like this game is set and done. Once the goal goes in golden goal,
But there's
That's
VAR,
it.
right?
yes.
Okay, so
But then you VAR
yeah.
and then you create a chance here. It's just a mess.
it is a mess.
It is
It's
a
just
mess.
It's the right call. The refs should be the greats. They did a great job, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? The refs are the greats. They
the
made
refs
the right call.
are the greats of the week.
I know how anti VAR you are, but something
Yes,
happened.
yes,
They
I
look
get it. The
back.
game's over. It's golden goal. But if there was a foul and the ref said, "Hey, hold on, I think I saw a foul. I saw it hit in the face. Let's go back and review it just to make sure that either this is called or Utica wins." They go back, they review it. That's a foul. We all just agreed that that's a foul. So
If
they
there
did
was
the
contact.
right count. There was
I-
contact.
Having just watched that again.
Wait, le dio un madrazo en el hocico,
I
güey.
don't
And again, the
Here,
only
we'll
reason,
try
the
to
the
and see
only
if there
reason
is.
I'm saying that
Reverse the
was a
call and
foul is
restart the
because
game.
this player
there
right
is
here, number 9, whatever the
contact
fuck his name is,
that
Oliveira.
may be
Oliveira,
enough to
whatever,
warrant a
could have,
foul
I mean,
being
right here, he
called.
got the one-on-one, and
I
it
think
gave
it's
him an
a
advantage. Pee Wee would have still kept up with him and could potentially it could have became a 2-on-1 on that Oliveira guy.
It would be a tough call to reverse.
Sí le dio el madrazo. Not gonna say it was Michi.
Maybe not an elbow, but he definitely got hit in the face.
And he got an advantage off that.
Yeah.
Knocking Pee Wee. Pee Wee played
How are
great.
we're defending the Sockers here. You're the one that works for the team.
By
What
the
is-
way, great actor award to Pee Wee. La vendió bien también.
He sold it well.
He pulled a Kyle Walker here. I don't know if you guys saw that at the Manchester Derby. Kyle Walker did the same thing, but no, Revs, greats of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna give it to
Yeah,
Tony.
We were gonna give it to East Lake Soccer.
We're,
maybe.
oh yeah, East Lake Soccer. By the way, yeah. It's an absolute shit show here at 2 balls and a mic now, just like this.
Which then led directly into Morales.
Hey, did they throw the hat?
Go ahead.
It's a hat trick. You didn't
No.
throw a hat? Yeah, fucking
Hats are
Oceanside
hats
crowd,
are
am I right?
expensive, okay? Like, I'm not
Oceanside
gonna throw my
crowd.
hat onto the field. Come on.
Judo, Changa Arena folks would have done that. Gosh, this Oceanside crowd.
Well,
This
still
has
a
been
great
one of
call.
my favorite
That's my,
episodes
you know,
so far.
this is the great. Craig Elston should be our great.
Craig Elson.
Craig
is
Elson
great.
is the I mean, shout out to East Lake Soccer for representing San Diego in the national playoffs in the UPSL, moving on to the round of 16. That's 6. I mean, hey, you win the UPSL, you get a hefty prize. I believe it's almost like $100K.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Maybe they should build a stadium. Or East Lake.
That's actually
it's in the works.
What?
Blah blah.
Oh yeah, never mind. Okay.
Okay. Abe, you're fired. I'm just kidding. I don't have that power.
I do. Just kick you out of the house. I'm not firing you.
I'm
It's
walking out with Abe too. Through this shit.
I'm taking the recover.
Basket.
fine. You guys can go ahead and do that. Season's greetings to everybody who's joined us at 2 Balls and a mic today. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. And oh my god, Thank you for everybody. Thank you to Darnay Tripp. Thank you for
Sold out.
the San Diego Sockers. Thank you for SDFC for the Jersey Authentic 2024-2025 kit. That's going to be raffled off. It's going to be given away an opportunity drawing through San Diego FC. Thank you to Abe for coming in and not taking the recoverer. Thank you for everybody once again in the group chat. Let's keep this discussion. This is one of, again, I agree, the funnest episode of Two Balls and a Mic that we've done in a while. There's a lot of soccer to talk about.
There was
a lot
finally
of
soccer to talk about
San
in a
Diego
way.
FC, and that is literally our bread and butter. Check. Drink your recover. All right, guys.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, everyone.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Lávensela.